It's a little dark, but it's not bad.
Okay, I can adjust it if we need to. I think there's another one that's closer. Not quite as dark.
The ground? Or...
Yeah, the color, the lighting.
Oh, it's fine.
All right. There we are. All right. Back in camp.
Oh shit! I've used like most of my spell slots.
Yeah, you guys are pretty well tapped.
I was gonna say we're also probably we got to do this, and I gotta take a nap.
Yeah, so I looked through just to see where everybody was resource-wise. Arteme is, nearly as nearly finished with her trance, which will have her back to like full for all of her resources. But Pogo has no second level slots. I think Sarah is
I've got a few.
Second and some third. Yeah, so, I mean, you guys still have a little bit left
to rescue a lady.
And then Norak has one rage left, so hopefully that's all you guys need. But
don't worry, guys, I still have my tiny little sword.
You
and my rapier.
Yep. So you guys are back in Dunskathak. The Wiccan children are sleeping, waiting for Arteme to finish her trance. The camp, it's still, it's early in the morning. It's at this point, just before Arteme's woken up, about 4:30 a.m. or so. Sun will be rising over sun will be up enough to make the sky bright soon enough, but because there's mountains at the east, you won't actually see it for a few more hours, of course. But it'll be light soon. So, what are you guys doing?
I'm still in, like 50 feet in the tunnel?
Okay, so you were still down in the tunnel then, just like keeping an eye out while the kids were sleeping?
Yeah, I was just listening for it to listening if it was going to collapse farther in.
Okay, give me a perception check.
I probably shouldn't be the one doing this. I'm horrible at perception.
Well, just for the sake of it, just to show how you're starting off the session.
I can't remember. Did we already? Yeah, we already told Pepperjack of our plan. Yeah.
You did, and in from that, anyways, only because of how, let's say, lucky you guys had been. He agreed for you guys to be able to borrow the kids for a little bit to be able to do this.
That's right.
Yeah. So I mean, you had spoken with them at that point. You went back to was that? No, I think that was earlier when you went back to check on him and you saw Samson. That wasn't this. That wasn't for this particular instance.
No.
Yeah. But other than that, other than the constant horns and drums and everything outside, it's been relatively quiet for this span of about 4 hours or so.
So I think at the end of the last time, I either had just or I was going to go kind of let Pepperjack know where we're at with the plan.
Okay.
I just don't remember. I think I looked for him, but he wasn't in his tent.
Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't be in his tent right now. So
was there anyone in the tent?
No.
Was there anything else in the tent? I can't remember. I know there's a map on a table.
Okay, go ahead and give me, I guess, how thoroughly are you trying to open things and look around, or are you just like cursory glance?
If no one's in there, I might just take a peek inside any chests or little bubbles that I can open.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
I figure since we're not on a time crunch yet.
Sure. All right, well, you digging through some, basically, there's crates in there. You go in and the ground is still a little bit muddy. This tent has been here for long enough that, there's not rainwater getting directly to it, but there's still, rain in the ground surrounding it, so it's still relatively soft dirt floor. There is a lamp when you first come in that is hanging from the center of the tent, from the, what's the word I'm looking for, like the peak of a tent, right?
Sure.
There's a lamp that's hanging from that is usually lit, but it is not lit currently. So when you first step in, it's pretty dark. Are you? Do you have dark vision?
No.
Okay. Are you doing anything to make it easier for you to see?
If it's up in the middle and it's off, then probably not. Is it completely, since it's dark outside? Is it just
it's pretty dark inside. You won't be able to see much. With your roll, if you have some form of light, there is something you'll be finding, I guess is what I'll tell you. That's a little bit meta, so it's just a matter of whether Pogo would
I don't think so. I think he would. He's kind of looking around to see if he might just, yes, if there's any shiny things to take, but he's not going to alert people to his presence in there by lighting a torch or anything. So
okay,
he'll just see that no one's in there and the lights are off, and he'll probably go back and wait for the others.
Okay.
He might think it's weird that the lights are off in the tent, but
well, one of the previous times when you come by and you saw Samson coming out, the light was still on then, but you might gather by now anyways that because it is still it's super early in the morning, he might be asleep, and when nobody's using the tent, he doesn't leave the light burning and wasting oil, basically. So he's probably just napping. Okay, all right. Well, in that case, then
probably go back to the. How much time do we have? Do we know how much time we're waiting on?
It's Artemis that is trancing. She told you 4 hours, and it's you're like probably another 15 minutes. You should be getting up.
All right, yeah. Then I'm just gonna go wait at the cave tunnel.
Okay. Sarah is down in there still. Her tent is propped up right near the entrance. With the Wiccan kids are inside napping. What's Norak up to? There you go. Yeah, you were muted, I think.
Yeah. I'm going to go check on Sorsha and see if she's awake yet.
When you get to your tent, you can see she's not in there, and well, I mean, you might be able to, because the ground is mud, you might be able to track her footprints because she's barefooted. So, I mean, basically, I'll tell you that there are footprints there. It's a matter of whether you'd be successful at tracking where she went, but she's not there.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can figure out which direction she was heading in. Because, I mean, if she just ran off and left, then I'm not gonna fucking pursue her. But, I mean, if she's still in here, I'm gonna go see where she's at, make sure she's not trying to fuck with anything. So,
okay.
Nature?
Survival check actually, but it's going to be a disadvantage because so you can't see in the dark. So if you're bringing a torch or something of that sort, then you'll be with a normal roll. But otherwise, it's dark and they're rain and muddy and everything. So these footprints are going to be difficult to see as it is. So if you're going to light a torch to try to find her, go ahead. Then you can be with a normal roll. Otherwise, it'll be disadvantaged.
I'm just going to take a little peek.
Well, you rolled a natural 1. And you have your lingering injury from being knocked unconscious from the concussion. So you actually rolled a -1 from that, which would be a 0, but you have a +4 for a total of 4 with a natural 1. You see that there's muddy footprints that are near the entrance to the tent, and then they walk off, but it looks like they're washed away from the rain. You can't see where she went.
All right, then I'm just going to kind of cruise around again, not like walking fast or anything, but just casually cruise around and see if I can get an idea of if I see her, So.
Give me a perception check.
Everybody. Okay.
Yeah. Shit, you're rolling really awful. You have advantage because of your shield, but you got a total of 3. So, with a -3 from the concussion. So, no, you don't. There's nothing standing out. Like the camp is pretty quiet. Most people are still asleep except the soldiers that are near the walls all the way around. But you don't see her, and you don't hear any commotion or anything that would stand out. I will tell you that if anybody spots her, one, they might assume that she's a spy or that she climbed over the wall or something like that, and they might just attack on sight. But you gather you'd probably hear something.
Yeah.
Some people to spot her.
Or you might smell it first.
Yeah, with the rain, obviously some of the smell is kind of being dissipated with how heavy it's raining. But yeah, I mean, it's basically if somebody's going to notice, a cannibal, covered in sores and damn near naked, that kind of stuff, just walking around. So,
like the strip club on like a Tuesday.
So she's the C team. Sarah, as far as the timeline, the note that you wrote back to Corin Xantalis was within the last hour or so. There has not been a response yet.
Alright.
But it's only just been, a very short amount of time, and you also know, He is far north and slightly west, so time-wise, it's probably closer to 3:30 a.m. his time. Because of how time zones work, essentially. So just sort of circadian rhythms, anyway. So he probably hasn't seen it, is your guess. But anyways, anybody doing anything else then, or are you just waiting till Arteme wakes up?
I'll probably tell a few jokes.
Okay.
Maybe tell them down to Sarah down in the hole.
He's gonna shout him down through the tunnel.
How much you know about dwarves, Seraphina? I don't know if you know this, but they do not like spending gold. Did you know that the limbo dance was invented by a dwarf trying to get into a brothel house for free? True story. Did you hear the one about the dwarf and the elf who went into a bar, and the dwarf says, "Drinks for everyone, on me." Next morning, everyone says, "Elf ventriloquist was found beaten to death behind the pub."
God.
What? I don't think I followed that one.
Because the dwarf goes in and says, "Drinks for everyone, on me." Next morning, everyone's talking about how they found an elf ventriloquist found beaten to death behind the pub.
So the elf was throwing his voice to pretend it was the dwarf saying that?
That's correct.
Okay, alright. Alright, the trance comes to a comfortable end as far as the time in the dream with Sai bouncing around Arteme. But there was no sharp awakening. You almost kind of half expected that there'd be an explosion on the walls or something like that, or that the Legion would have attacked at some point. But you're actually able to finish your long rest uninterrupted. But you come awake at the end of your trance fully recovered. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go find the others.
Okay.
Also, did I successfully learn how to become an ant?
Okay, were you just going for a giant ant? Just a regular giant ant, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just regular. Okay.
Yep.
It's gonna be all deformed and shit.
Yeah, like with your rolls from last week, you're pretty confident that it would be functional. Maybe not necessarily the fastest thing. I think probably just from the rolls that you had, mechanically we'll handle it as the speed being slightly reduced as far as its run speed. But other than that, because the legs aren't going to quite work just quite right from Sai's attempt to emulate it. But it's at least functional as far as being able to do the other stuff that an ant would do, but probably 10 feet or so reduced for its speed. I think it's 50 normal.
40 instead of. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But you do find when you come to the tunnel entrance, you see, or where they began the tunnel, you see Sarah's tent is pitched there. Checking inside, you see the two Wiccan children are inside. Pogo, I guess, did you not go down into the tunnel? You're just shouting down?
I'm just kind of at the entrance. She's only about
Standing in the
15 feet. Well, rain-ish.
It's raining pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm probably standing in the rain. I think at this point I'm probably pretty soaked and don't really care too much.
Yeah. You could just be wet, or you could be wet and muddy if you went down into the tunnel. So, Norak, you after looking for Sorsha, where did you go?
Yeah, I'll probably just go down in the tunnel with Seraphina then. Make sure
Okay.
go check on her.
Okay, then Arteme, you find everybody back at the tunnel entrance essentially. So.
Woohoo! Alright, so do you know how to turn into a giant ant now?
Yep.
Fantastic. I'm pretty excited about seeing that, I'm not gonna lie.
You guys hear a loud grunt coming from kind of the center of the camp, basically where the mess hall and where Pepperjack's tent is. And you look over and see the giant Miotao, the one that was guarding the kids. He has a name. You guys never ask names, so you don't know what it is. But he is kind of stomping towards you. You can see little wisps of steam coming out of his nostrils, just from it's cold. It's chilly as it is out. With his breathing, there's steam coming out of his nostrils. But he kind of snorts and is stomping towards you guys. Not angrily, but he just seems like this guy's always seems like he's a little angry. And he as he's kind of snorting.
He is always horny, so that could be a little frustrating.
I hate puns so much. I should have thought better than to invite somebody who puns all the time. I'm kidding. But he kind of is stomping over and he sees the tent there, and he kind of, without even saying anything to you guys, he just kind of tilts his head down until his horns are like near Norak, rushing Norak. Looks into the tent, sees that they're in there. He says, "How long do you need them?"
I think we're only going to need them for a few more minutes, and then I will tell him our basic plan of how we're going to go up, rescue a prisoner, and then we're going to just collapse the tunnel. And if they just, can't imagine it taking them more than a few minutes to start collapsing it behind us as we leave.
He looks down at you. He's still got a significant amount of disdain on his face for you specifically. Looking down at you, he kind of just snorts. He says, "We need their help, so we'll need them about dawn. So if you bring them back, make sure they come back safe."
You can come with us if you want, big guy.
He kind of squints. I mean, you can give me a perception check like that. I'll tell you the DC will be a little bit higher there than if you kind of give him more reason.
Perception or
Persuasion.
persuasion?
If I said perception, I meant persuasion.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was like, I'm gonna see that you want to do this. I rolled it in the tower.
Oh shit! I didn't. Sorry. The text looks the same, so I just didn't see
Sure.
the roll. He kind of snorts. He says, "What does this rescue consist of? Is there danger to these kids?"
Not a lot. Basically, we're gonna make a little hole, we're gonna go up, we're gonna get our friend, hopefully, and then we're gonna come back, and we just need the tunnel collapsed up behind us. So I feel like knowing the power they have over the earth, it shouldn't be too difficult for them to drop it back down as we escape. And if all goes well, which happens,
Be clear,
Maybe
they're not
sometimes.
going into the tent where the prisoners are either. They're
No.
waiting for.
and they have it seems like they can manipulate the earth at what, 30 feet? So they'll be the first ones out.
He snorts again. He says, "We need to prepare for the funerary rites for our leader. If it will get them back safely and in time, I don't mind going along."
All right. We got a little more muscle just in case. But tell you what, why don't you keep an eye on the children? That's the most important thing.
He looks at the entrance. He says, "Is that how you're? I assume that's how you're getting in and out."
Yeah, it's not ideal.
He looks like very angry, like dissatisfied. Like what did he get himself into? Because Norak has to lay down, remember, and slide down like a mudslide to get through this. And now this guy's gonna.
Who's bigger? Is the Neotau bigger or smaller?
He's
than
about
Norak?
the same size. He's similar in size, but he's got those giant horns. So like his head basically is much bigger when you consider the radius of his head, right?
Oh, hilarious.
So he looks very unhappy about this, but he basically you guys remember that Astarte was killed, right?
Yes.
That was his leader or their leader?
Yeah.
Looked like she was murdered.
Yeah. That's her name, Justin. She was the rest of the guys here.
Got it. Astarte. Got it.
They worked with her specifically. They convinced her to allow the Empire to hire them as mercenaries, but she's been murdered. And it's based on I'll just tell you this from the impression that you got from Pepperjack. It seems like he's concerned that they might leave because with her gone, they don't necessarily have to hold to a contract that she had signed, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Which is culturally just something that the rest of the guys understand a little better because they were there with the Miotau. But anyways, they have to perform her funerary rites, which you guys remember, of course. The funerary rites are a very specific thing, and them trying to do that here in camp could be difficult. You understand?
Yeah.
We've got to shoot him out of a cannon.
You have those. I mean, you have the ballista style things you could throw them. So,
All right.
Anyway,
So going over the plan one more time. I know it's only been 5 minutes. So it was we're going to go to the end of the tunnel, and we are going to crawl. We're going to finish. We're going to dig a tunnel. How are we finding her again? I just don't remember. Like the exact location of her.
That would be me.
Okay, and then we're going to dig through the roof of the tunnel, and then we're going to cast a darkness spell. Is that right?
I can.
Was that the
But
plan?
I'm gonna I'm gonna be the only one that can see then.
Oh, that's right. Should we make a small tunnel and stick my tiny little head through it? See what around.
I'm glad that's considered in head.
I'm just wondering if we should do that first and take a quick look. Stealthily stick my head through the ground. I can even use
nobody
hat
will
of
notice the hole
disguise.
if you're
Maybe I
in
could
a
use
gnome
hat
head
of
sticking
disguise to make my head look like a large beaver. Or some
Beaver?
sort of,
Beavers don't
not a
talk.
beaver, like a groundhog. Just poking his head through the ground. I'm seriously asking. I don't remember what the plan was at the end of the tunnel.
The Meowtow grunts. He says, this plan doesn't sound very solid.
Well,
Well, was to cast darkness and then just have Sarah put the prisoner on me, and then I go back into the tunnel
Okay.
as an ant, and then yeah, we just get her.
That should be pretty easy to just go that small distance. And then we were gonna worry about the chains. Have Norak just break through the chains, or
Part of it's wood, right?
As far as what you saw, you only saw it just very briefly, but it's basically a how to describe this, like a spindle with wheels on either side, like spokes on either side. Think of it like a like the wheel of a pirate ship. Two of those with an axle between, or even just like the axle on a car with tires on either side, right? And then that axle is wrapped in chain, and
So it's
basically
like
a
it's
rack.
like that thing like a rack where you always see
Yeah.
people torturing people, and there's like one dude he's twisting it to tighten it up.
Yeah, like that. Although she doesn't look like, at least from what Artemis saw for that kind of fraction of a second, she's not secured to a rack. It's just that's what the wheel part looks like. Yeah.
So we better figure that out before we cast darkness, right? Damn, we should have talked about this in Discord. It's been too long. I apologize.
Well, you guys had 3 weeks to figure this shit
I
out.
feel like we had a plan too.
Yeah, the plan was simple. We dig a tunnel, we go in, Sarah grabs her, gets her out, puts her on me, and then we, like hell, while collapsing the tunnel. Hopefully nobody notices.
Should we just do it, and then if we run into a problem with the chain, deal with it as we're there?
I think I
Yeah.
was gonna heat metal on the chain.
That will hurt. What's her face do though?
She could hurt there. She could heal there. She could heat
Yeah.
the other end of the chain though, where it's not touching her.
Oh, that's right.
You're
If we
still-
heat it,
Yeah, and then I could just break it easily, and there you go.
Well, you're going to be in an ant form. Well, I
And-
guess it
and
depends. I guess
blind.
when. Yeah. So it depends on when you do that, I suppose. But yeah.
So
You just
so
use a regular giant ant, not the ant lion larva, I think. Right.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so ant might be able to bite through it. Maybe. I don't know enough about ants. Or Sarah can show Norak using like guide him to where he needs to hit it with something heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ant won't be able to see in the dark either. So
Yeah,
Keep
but
that
if
in
I
mind.
can guide Norak to it and have him touch the chain, then he could
and burn his
probably-
hand.
Well, no,
No, just-
without heat metal, and just have him break it.
Well, I don't know if
Okay.
he could break the chain, but he probably like you could literally bring the sword down like slowly, like this is where you need to bring it down and hit. And then he could just lift it up and just whack at it. But all right, should we just do it?
Yeah.
All right.
The Meowtow's just grunting, very
This
dissatisfied,
was
like this.
not in game. This is 3 weeks.
Oh,
Not in-
okay. This is
this
before he
wasn't
got
us.
there.
Yeah, this is pretend like we had it the way we had already figured it all out 3 weeks ago before we all.
So you want to present a facade of competence to him, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, this is fine. Everything's fine.
Uh,
All right.
what's that, Becky?
Oh, I'm just gonna tell the Meowtow thank you, since she's coming with us.
And as we're walking down the tunnel, I'm gonna keep an eye on the roof, and I'm gonna tell the Neotau. So we did run into this weird eyeball thing that came through the roof. We just gotta keep our eyes out, and if we see it, we've got to attack it as fast as we can. Make sure we can kill it quick.
An eyeball?
Yeah, no, a giant eyeball. They're actually all outside the castle. They're kind of sentries, lookouts, if you will. And we got to make sure we didn't really know what it was for a few seconds, but they're coming through the roof. We might want to make sure we keep an eye out. Just gonna let you know. Don't worry, everyone was fine. We already killed one eyeball. In fact, we'll pass the corpse. Someone's gonna see right there. That big fatty thing.
He snorts.
Don't step in it. Don't step in it.
When you say that, he says, if it's an eyeball, a disembodied eyeball is what you saw.
Yeah.
If you imagine these are sentries, then you realize that means they know you're coming, right?
Well, I don't think it's able to tell anybody. We killed it pretty quick.
He does not seem at all satisfied with any of this plan.
Well, let's see.
But he says,
do you
"I'll
know
keep."
something about the eyeballs that we do not know? Because Pepperjack didn't seem super helpful with the whole eyeball situation.
It's clear this is the first he's heard about any eyeballs.
All right. Yeah, no, I think we're fine. I think Eyeball didn't get to actually tell anybody about. I don't think there's a giant, huge creature without eyeballs somewhere out there that's relaying information. If that helps.
I don't know how any of this stuff works. I'm here to make sure these two make it back safe. And he kind of leans down into the tent to wake the two of them up. So he gathers them up. They're still very sleepy. Rubbing fists against their eyes, that kind of thing. And he wraps an arm around both, the same way that you've seen him running through the camp, holding one of them under each arm. But he's kind of lifted both of them up, and he's got his head kind of tilted to one side, trying to keep the rain from landing on him.
And I think we've already told the children that we need them to, as we're leaving, to take it down behind us. We already told them that, so I think
so.
they understand that. I'm almost
because
positive.
When they started making the tunnel, I think he explained that was the plan.
Yeah.
So he goes to the top. He looks over. He looks at Sarah. Looks at Pogo. Says, neither of you will be much use. You, and he looks at Norok. He says, do you mind going down first, and I'll pass them down to you?
Sure, no problem. And I'll hop up.
Okay. You slide down through the mud then, and he kind of, gently as he can, tries to pass them. He basically is kind of kneeling in the mud and then holding one of the kids in one hand and just reaching it out, to hand you one of the kids so that the kid isn't in the mud and having to slide down. And then the other. So you've got Nebish and Nadir down there with you, and then he comes down afterwards, covered in mud, both of you now, of course, because you both have to kind of slide down through the entrance hole. Isn't quite large enough to step down. You don't have stairs or anything of that sort. By now, I'll tell you too that it's been 4 hours since the entrance of the tunnel was made, and the entrance is just a mudslide. It's just like even trying to walk down in this, Sarah. Well, Sarah, you were still inside. Okay. So that would work anyway. But if you hadn't come back up to the top, it wouldn't matter. But Pogo, looking at this, there's no way you're going to be able to make it down. You're almost certainly going to slip and fall. It's just a slick mudslide. So, are you going to try to keep yourself from getting muddy, or are you just going to just say, fuck it?
You can get on the broom.
I don't really mind. I don't mind the mud.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do is, since it's A, dark down there, and B, going into darkness, I'm gonna use another one of my Gem of Seeing items, times, and I'm gonna go ahead and hold that up so I can see. And apparently, I think you can see through magical darkness, according to what I'm googling right now.
Can it? Let me see.
It says, description of the darkness, spell notes, and creates a magical darkness. Creatures with true sight see in and through it.
Well, true sight is what it gives you, and Becky, do me a favor, check the version of your when you cast it with that, because I think it specifically says even creatures with magical darkness can't see through it, right?
That one's in my abilities, right?
Yes, we looked it up last time. That would be very good to know if it's something that if this would allow Justin or Pogo to be able to see through it. So, well, that's the spell True Seeing. That's not the same thing. Let's see, True Sight. See normal and magical darkness. See invisible creatures and objects. Visual illusions succeed on saving throws against them. And the original form of a shapeshifter or creature that is transformed by magic. That's interesting. So with that, you'd actually see Artemis' normal shape as she's like on all fours climbing around like an ant.
It doesn't say. It just says that if I use sorcery points, I can see through it.
Okay, then in that case, it's probably just normal magical darkness.
Yeah.
That's nice at the dark here.
Sweet. So I'm gonna let everyone know that as long as if I look through this, can I let other people look through it under that time amount?
Let's see. Does it require attunement?
Go through sights.
It does not. It does
no.
not say that it requires attunement. So
So-
when you use that gem, if you basically you spend a charge on it, if you can hand it around if you chose
Sure.
to. Anybody that
Alright.
looks through it can.
So I'm gonna let everyone know that this gem allows you to see through that darkness. So if anyone needs it, let me know. If I need it, I need it. But if you need it, let me know. Okay. So if Norak, you need it to see some chains, just let me know.
Did you already mark off that? Because I see you 2 charges spent. So
Yeah,
did you?
I
Already...
just used the second
Okay.
one.
All right. So it lasts for 10 minutes. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, but it's only a couple hundred feet. I imagine we're gonna be up there in a game time. I imagine.
The entrance is slick because it's at an angle, but as soon as you get down to the kind of where the normal level is, it's a flat pass. So there's less risk of.
So
there is a river down the middle of it of water by now that's kind of pooling at the end. But as you guys are making your way through the tunnel, everybody's down in and moving along now, right?
Yep, and I'm keeping an eye on the ceiling with my gem of seeing.
Okay. Arteme, you're still in elf form then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you just try to carefully climb down in then?
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys pass 3/4 of the way, near the end, basically, you get toward the end of the tunnel is you do see 2 halves of this kind of rotten orb. Looks like a rotten pumpkin almost. The 2 halves of this cleaved eyeball, but there are tiny holes in the mud all around it. That just kind of in spots all the way around that were not there previously.
Okay. Bugs got?
Give me a nature check.
Bunch of sand crabs.
They were groundhogs. They were the mud beavers that Justin was talking about.
Giant worms.
Mud beaver.
Well, he said that he would turn into a giant.
I feel
beaver.
like mud beaver would be something under Urban Dictionary.
It does kind of sound like it.
Probably not great.
The pattern that surround it look like footprints, almost, but they're very small. They're only probably about maybe 1.5 to 2 inches across. In your silly metric system, that's like 4 centimeters or so. Fox?
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding. Anyway, they look kind of like basically they're a single smooth like it looks like if you took half of maybe a tennis ball and pushed it into the mud. They're about that size. So there's no like paw prints, no toes, no claws or anything of that sort that you'd see. But they're in a pattern that looks like that look kind of like footprints that go towards it. Like they start probably 5 feet or so away. And then they're in a pattern that would be footprints, essentially, like left, right, toward the eyeball, and then kind of around the area of it. And then there's a small hole where it looks like something, like a worm maybe, of a similar size, went into the ground nearby. And then that hole, is kind of just the mud is just kind of filled in a little bit, but basically a deeper hole, not just a footprint kind of thing. But that's it.
Nope.
So, bugs that crawled out from underneath. And it would be
You don't see where the prints start. There's no similar tunnel or anything there. They just start out of nowhere, and then it looks like that whatever it was kind of walked towards it, kind of a thing, and then maybe tunneled through.
Okay, that's weird. So something just appeared on it and tunneled through it?
Through the mud near the 2 halves, kind of between the 2 halves of the eyeball. And then out of one half of the eyeball, by the way, is a trail of ocular nerves.
So there's something in the eye controlling it?
Maybe. I mean, go ahead and give me an investigation
Next.
check. Did you change the color, Fox, or was it always that light of a blue?
it got changed a bit lighter when I cleared the cache.
Yeah. It's a nice blue. I like it. I didn't remember if it was that light.
It's a sky
Or maybe
blue.
it's, yeah, it might just be because I have the screen so dark with the cave coloring, but it's hard to say. I'd say that with that roll, you probably can't necessarily deduce exactly how this happened, but whatever this is, basically there's a trail. You can't necessarily say that they're footprints. That's just from your nature check. You gather that's probably what they are, that are just like smooth, that don't have toes or anything of that sort. Just because the layout, it's what it reminds you of, essentially, are footprints of a left-right cadence. But it looks like, because there's no toes, you can't say which direction it was facing. Was it walking away from the eye? Was it coming towards the eye? You don't know. But there are prints starting at about 5 feet away. They look similar to where left-right foot placement would be, up to the eye, and then between the two halves of the eye, there's a tunnel, like a hole in the ground. Very small, only about the same diameter as the prints themselves. But it goes in between, like into the ground between the two, like it tunneled into the mud, and there's nothing present. You don't see anything else that would, any other evidence of what it was.
Okay. That makes me a tiny bit worried that some kind of spell or something that was controlling me.
Do spells leave footprints?
Give me, I guess, maybe a memory check for Arteme.
Oh boy. Maybe they do.
Okay. When you were scouting the camp in Iskil form, the eyes that saw you there, you definitely got the impression that they were able to see through your subterfuge, let's say.
Okay.
I'd say probably narratively that instead of looking towards the face of the Iskil, they were looking towards the center body mass, I guess, if that makes sense. And maybe that unnerved you enough that you kind of recognized that it seems like they were seeing through your illusion.
So there's some kind of magic. So
They definitely didn't seem like natural creatures, that's for sure.
So if their spell, whoever's controlling them would know what they know, in theory.
You would have gathered that by now anyways. It seems like if they were natural creatures, one, there's no mouth on them. You don't see any way for them to be able to communicate, potentially telepathy and so on. But it does seem like whatever. Basically, it seems like that they are sentries, as Pogo had said to the Miota that you still don't know the name of. But that seems like that's how they operate. Is they might automatically be reporting this information back or something of that sort. You don't know, but they are most certainly an arcane construct of some kind. Although they did leave behind a physical body, because the two halves of this eyeball are still there in front of you, so you can still see it.
That'll make the mission a bit trickier, so we need to try and not get caught by them.
Are we just kind of watching her examining these prints?
Up to you guys. I mean,
I
if
would be
you still have some ways to
musing out
go,
loud, by
so
the
the
way.
kids could be. What was that, Fox?
I would probably be musing out loud to get any idea.
Alright. Well, I'm not sure if it's... Does
Kids
anyone
are
have
yawning.
any other idea about this? I mean, we've come this far.
Well, no one's saying we're gonna give up on the mission, I'll just be a bit...
The way I see it is even if they know we're coming, all that means is they'll probably just have already moved her. But I don't
Not
think they could have...
necessarily, because they could just think we're digging a tunnel out to try and get help.
True.
That would be the logical thing.
That would
You're in a
make sense.
siege, you're digging a tunnel to get supplies in, etc., not necessarily arresting it.
True. And it's not
Because,
like...
as Pepper Jack said, a rescue mission is pretty foolish in this situation.
You also, by the way, from what you've gathered and the information Pepperjack has given you, it's clear that the Vavians don't know where that secret tunnel is. They don't know that you guys have a way in and out yet. As far as you know. Not this tunnel, I mean the one that you guys have been using to get in and out.
I say we just go do it. Worst comes to worst, we run and have the kids collapse the tunnel behind us.
Yeah.
I just hope that they haven't messed up her face too bad.
Always care about the important things. Pay attention to the important things.
I'm just hoping she's alive and not completely insane. More like.
I mean,
Yeah, she was-
insane's fine.
Most attractive girls are anyway, right?
Sure.
Plus, she is, a little bit of a necromancer, so I mean, you have that already. She's probably at least a little bit insane.
I don't see
but-
necromancers as insane. It's just a form of.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on how much. Whether we're talking, raising zombies or.
How else are you supposed to raise a family?
There's actually a fun potential, a little side story thing that I forget where I read about it. I read something about it that I think it was D&D memes or something like that that I thought was particularly interesting. But if I find it again, I'll put it in the D&D memes channel. Anyways, so all right, if you guys are, putting the kids down and getting to, finish up the tunnel.
Hey, let's do this.
All right, give me perception checks on what's your marching order, I suppose. What's the order? Kids in the front. The Miotao will be.
Well, the kids
holding
don't
one.
really have to
No,
be.
I wouldn't have the kids in the front. I'd
No.
have them in the middle.
Yeah,
Okay, I
we'll
mean, you guys can
surround-
be in front of them as long as you're not blocking their view.
Sure.
Meaning Norok can't be in front of them because there's not enough room in the tunnel.
I'll stand right behind him then.
I'll
Okay.
be in front of them on the broom with the dancing lights up.
Okay.
And just for one extra thing, I'm going to use the Hat of Disguise to make myself a foot taller and look like one of the enemy mages. Just in
What, the
case.
Sirdamen?
Yeah, one of the Sirdamen.
Okay. You're 3 feet tall, so that makes you a 4 foot tall.
4
Sirdamen.
foot tall
So,
Sirdamen.
so you probably
Bald,
won't blend in real well.
Covered
That's
with
it.
some tattoos.
Okay, you're gonna go dwarf? Is it you're trying to look
I'm
like
actually
a dwarf?
going to try to look exactly like the other guy back in the castle.
Okay. Those very
Just
small.
a small version. Yeah.
Somebody hit me with a shrink ray. All right. Wait, in the castle? Which one are you talking about?
The first one we met not the castle, the fort that we just came from. The first one we met, who was all.
Are you talking
Yeah.
about the one when you guys found Maibi that was on top of the roofs and flying back
Yeah,
and
I
forth?
think his name is he Ozzy or
Okay, so Ozzy. Okay, all right. That's what I was curious. If
Ozzy?
you, so Ozzy is in there, and he does have those tattoos. Yes.
But he's not wearing the same clothing as the Sirdaman?
Not at the moment, no.
Oh,
But
well
he
then
does
I'll
have those
just,
exact same tattoos.
I'll just wear whatever the Sirdaman.
Oh
that
shit!
I've
Actually,
seen
hang
wear.
on. Pogo would not have seen the tattoos, so never mind.
Okay.
Everybody else knows, but Pogo.
I'll just make myself look exactly like the guy I saw at the docks.
At the rooftops? Okay, cool. Alright. Alright, then you guys, at the end of the tunnel then, with one of them I say in front, with Sarah floating on the room in front of that, with Nebish and Nadir. Actually, it's probably Nadir down on the ground that is doing it right now. The Miotao is still holding Nebish. Norok behind him, Arteme and Pogo behind Norok.
Sure. To
Okay.
the side if it's an option. Behind it
Okay.
to the side.
Okay. Arteme, do you remember? I know it's been 3 weeks. Do you remember how you were finding this specific place? Because you can just keep digging, but there will be a point at which you need to move up.
I was using a locate object.
Okay. All right. So just go ahead and mark off your spell slot if you're assuming that you're going to do that to remember again exactly where to move up at, so you don't just keep digging. But the kids are moving the tunnel out just straight ahead for another 15 or 20 minutes or so before that ping is coming above you, basically, where you can tell that now is the point at which you're going to have to, go up. So that being said, how are you going about doing that? Like, are you directing are you going to have the kids go straight up because it's about 20 feet of mud? And you don't really have ladders or anything of that sort, so are you going up at an angle the same way that you did, to come down? What is the plan?
So
Yeah, an angle to go up.
Okay.
So also, I don't know if you guys would like this, but I could cast invisibility on 2 of us, and we could go through the hole. Maybe me and Serafina were pretty small. We can at least check it out to see what's up there.
Yeah, we can
That
ride the
might not
broom
be
up
a
so we
bad
don't leave
idea.
footprints.
Aye.
You can
Right,
just
so-
pass without trace on you guys to not leave footprints. Well, only one of you actually, so.
No,
I'm
pass
not
without trace
too.
works on a whole group, doesn't it?
Thought
it's
it
under-
was- Oh, it works on the group, yeah, but. Oh, yeah,
I
it
think it's
does.
up to
actually.
10.
If it's
So I
under
can
a,
use pass without trace.
if it's under a tent, it probably won't be too bad. I mean, we're going to be making quite a ruckus here in a few minutes, anyways. What do you say? What do you say, Serafina? Shall we go take a look around?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Then if you are
Check that off. I'm using that at
making
my
the
level 3, which allows me to get 2 people invisible.
okay.
Right. So.
All right, then the
Where
kids
is it?
finish. I'll tell you that you know maybe you guys prepare to do this, but you know the kids finish the kind of 45-degree upward angle. This won't have water flowing in from the top, so the mud is actually a little bit drier. Thankfully, it's just basically earth rather than mud. Whereas this entire tunnel has been mud the whole way because you had 4 hours of rain flow coming in from one angle. You know, so basically this is not mud. Thankfully, it's just dry earth. Still
So-
cold, of course.
I'm gonna go through first and use my gem of seeing to look around to see if I see anything that could be magical that might hurt us or trap us in any way.
Okay.
All right, so there is, let's say, 3 feet solid of earth that you can tell that as soon as that is broken through, you're going to be about 10 feet away from the chain thing that Arteme was searching for.
Right. Well, let's just make a little hole so I can stick my tiny little hobbit head in there.
All right, you're having the kids do this, or are you guys trying to dig through it with something else?
I mean, honestly, I think if we're at the top 6 inches, we could probably just use our hands to create a little hole through the dirt.
All right.
We don't need the giant ants doing that right there for that little bit.
I don't have the...
And I'm trying to dig sneakily, quietly through there.
All right, then Nebish. By this point, it's been the boy. He's switched over to it. Kind of finishes out the last area, and he just he looks at you and kind of shrugs and points at it like, "Is this?" He's asking you, "Is is this what you wanted? Is this okay? I'm going to stop here."
Are we just a few inches from the surface?
He nods.
All right, and I'm gonna start clawing at it like a little clawing animal.
He turns and runs in that like haphazard kid way where he's almost about to fall over, back towards the Miotao, who picks him up, and now he's holding both of them. He is at the base, by the way, so this ramp now is probably 20 feet or so, because it's a pretty sharp angle, about a 45-degree angle. But he's basically standing at the base of this sharp angle, so he's on the flat surface where it's still muddy. All right, so you just trying to pull through with your hands?
Yeah, I'm just gonna make a hole big enough for me to kind of stick my tiny little hobbit head through.
All right, so is there anything else? You have invisibility up on you.
I have a
Arteme,
gem of
you'd
seeing
mentioned putting,
on
yeah,
my
but
eye.
Yeah,
Arteme
pass
mentioned.
without trace.
Okay,
I'm
we'll
just
go
not
ahead and put
sure
your
which
effects up
one
then.
here.
As for pass without trace, well, it's a concentration effect, so don't forget the one that says self. That'll be on you, and then the other one you give to everybody else.
All right, let me cast invisibility.
That work?
Invisibility is up. I don't see pass without trace up yet. But
Oh, okay. I put it on our icons on the top. I guess that doesn't work.
no. Yeah, it doesn't look like it works. You probably have to do it from the combat tracker. There you go. Okay, so you have that's the concentration effect twice. I mean, I'll take one of those off. There you go. Yep.
Okay,
And then
that
that, yep, that's correct. Now also take the one that shows the skill 10 stealth, put that on you as well. Those two different effects, Fox. The one that just says self on it, that one is the concentration effect, so that if you get hit, that's what will automatically try to roll
okay,
if it
gotcha.
breaks for you. The other one, the one that says skill 10 stealth, is the one that actually gives you the stealth advantage for your
Oh,
roll.
okay. There we go.
Alright, so that is all up then. Go ahead and mark off your guys' spell slots if you didn't already.
I did.
Okay. Pogo then, what does the marching order look like now? Pogo is up at the very end of the tunnel, about to dig through with his hands. Where are the rest of you?
I'm
Nebish and
ready.
Nadir and the Mio Tower at the base.
I mean, Serafina could probably be holding us up on the broom at this point, since we're kind of towards the top of this little area.
Okay. All right. So you're floating on the broom then.
I'm trying very hard to not get any dirt on Serafina.
Okay.
I've noticed that she does not like getting dirty, so I'm trying to keep it away from her.
All right. You are having to hold the broom with one hand and dig with the other. That means you can't be holding the gem at the same time.
Oh, alright, I'll put the gem in my pocket until I have the hole actually dug.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a stealth check on Pogo. It's automatically going to give you a bonus of 10 for Artemis Pass Without Trace that she put on you guys. Which is good because you didn't roll very well. But with a modifier of 17, it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Naturally, so. You dig through nobody put up darkness or anything, right?
No.
Nope,
Okay.
but we're just invisible.
Okay. You dig a tiny, tiny hole. It's probably only the size of your fist, which is small. Enough to be able to see through. You can see flickering firelight on the inside of a roof of a tent, of a canvas tent.
Do I hear anything?
Give me a perception check. Those should probably be quieter by now. There we go. No. It seems there's quiet groaning sounds.
Okay. Then I'm gonna keep digging the hole, make it a little bit bigger for me to slowly and stick my head through. And when I have enough area to get my head through, maybe up to about my shoulders, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the gem of seeing and see if I can see anything around me that might be a problem.
Okay.
See what I can see.
You keep clawing away at this, kind of just make like circles, basically. Just keep grabbing around the edges and pulling dirt down.
Sure.
It is thankfully pretty dry. It's like this tent has been up for more like before the rain started. You wouldn't know that, of course, but basically it has been. So the mud or the dirt you're pulling down is just like clumps of dirt. You keep widening this circle. You don't see anything around other than, like I said, the ceiling of this tent. So you're looking through the floor, basically, and then up another 10 feet or so to the ceiling of this tent. And then it looks clear until you lift your head up enough through this. You hear a rustle of cloth behind you and immediately feel a palm, a very large, very clammy palm of a hand on the back of your head. Go ahead and give me a dex save.
Oh no!
Oh, actually, well, hang on. This is actually an attack. You know what? So it's actually an attack. So it wouldn't be.
Invisible?
Let's just say that in this particular case, that won't matter.
Damn!
That's how I'd say that. You'll understand why shortly. But so basically, it's not supposed to be a dex save. You would normally make a save with an attack. Would be that, but I'm just going to go ahead and use your save to mitigate. So basically, because this would, well, I'll roll the attack to see if it would hit first, actually. But assuming that it does, yeah, let's just say it does. But it would be half damage. I would give you the half because you rolled so high on the save. So we're just going to ignore the crit effects. But you feel a very chilling cold pass through your body from this hand shape on the back of your head, and immediately suffer. It's only 8. He rolled really awful. You feel some of your vitality, some of your life energy being sucked out through this palm and into whatever this thing is behind you. It then pulls the hand away, and there's kind of a screeching sound as it stands up or as it's moving away from you. You can move, but everybody go ahead and give me initiative.
Oh.
Okay, Fox.
Alright, I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. Oh, that one's too quiet. There we go. That's still pretty quiet.
Okay, I can't see. How many spell slots do I have left?
Let me change the lighting. Your spell slots, you have 1 first level, 1 second level, and 3 third level.
Okay.
You didn't cast anything, did you? Okay.
No, I just use dancing lights. It's good.
Okay. I'll change the lighting here in just a second. So you guys can see a little better.
Scared the piss out of me. All right, I'm ready.
All right, Fox will be back here in just a second.
Ooh. Damn, I thought we had a pretty good defensive plan there. Stupid seeing and the magical.
Well, you haven't
things.
seen you don't. Okay, I'll say it this way: both Justin and Pogo don't know why yet that this knows that this thing is able to tell that you're there. Arteme saw something while she was doing her scouting mission, but she kind of forgot, so she
Oh,
didn't think that part yet.
Was it the Erdeman, whatever?
Okay, do you remember that? Then go ahead and you can, just so that everybody knows now, I suppose, because it's going to happen here shortly anyways. You're back, Fox, I assume, since you said that? Okay, all right. Yeah, so do you remember? Go ahead and describe what you saw, if you remember.
Oh, right. I saw a guy with darker robes, kind of looking like Ozzy. I thought I had mentioned it.
You did, but there was a very specific feature that you did not mention, I don't think.
I don't remember what that is.
Okay.
So before, did anyone see me get attacked?
You would you would have like frozen, like been shocked at the touch. So you would have reacted immediately. It would have been very
Okay,
clear to
so
Sarah that you
would I have had time to be like, there's something here and it's hurting me, and he can see me.
It would have
Something
been
like that?
it would have been quite clear to Sarah for sure that you were. In fact,
Okay.
actually, everybody would have been watching you presumably anyways. Assuming that Arteme and Norak were also watching you, they would have seen you physically react to being attacked. So like it would be clear. I would say that everybody would know. And it is Sarah's turn. So you see, you know what? From the angle, you could probably see a very clammy, kind of pale hand touch the back of Pogo's head. And then you, in fact, actually give me an Arcana check.
Is my concentration broken, or did you not roll good enough?
Did you? What concentration effect do you have up?
Invisibility.
Invisibility?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have you targeted when I rolled it. That's why. Go ahead and give me a con save. No, con check. Sorry. And the damage was only an 8, actually, so you only need to get a 10 or above. Yep, you're fine.
Cool. I don't know if it'll help, but
Well, I mean, you still have it up at least, so you're still invisible, but we'll see how much that matters.
Yeah.
There was an important detail that Arteme saw that she'll remember here shortly.
So I do know that he's like right there.
He's literally right behind you. Your
So-
head is—you're not even all the way through the hole. It's big enough for your shoulders to fit through, but he was basically kneeling down where you were digging this hole. He saw the hole essentially. He kneeled down and touched the back of your head, causing you to kind of recoil. But it is Sarah's
Apparently,
turn.
my disguise did not help.
Alright, so is the hole big enough for me to get us through?
No, we gotta get through more. That's just
I mean, it's big
wide
enough
for
that
Pogo's shoulders, right?
Just fucking
Yeah.
take it down. Let's pull this guy into the tunnel.
If Pogo moves, might be able to get there.
I'm on a
basically,
broom.
if Pogo grabbed the sides of it and climbed up through, he could. But the broom with the two of you on it won't quite fit through.
Alright.
That's a little easier for you guys to see. Yeah, that should be better.
I thought my monitor was going bad. I was like, oh no, my graphics card.
I'll change
I
it so you guys can see
can't
spell spots
him.
better.
Just
You saw his hand. You can't see, and like you could probably spin the room around maybe to be able to get a better view of him. I mean, basically movement-wise, it's like 5 feet of movement for you to be able to get it, to spin around.
Yeah,
Which it also would drop. What's that?
I said I'll see if I can't get a clear view.
Okay. When you spin the broom around, basically there isn't a whole lot of room, of course, but there's enough that the kids made it so that enough so that Norak basically will be able to walk up to this and then climb through once you guys finish the rest of the hole. So there is enough clearance for you to turn the broom around. When you spin this around, you do see a Seardaman. Well, okay, what you had previously only known as a Seardaman, but this is let's say a higher rank is the impression you get. So I'll go ahead and share the Seardaman image again. But his left eye, in place of there is no eyeball there, and in its place is a glittering gem. It looks like a diamond that is reflecting the firelight.
That son of a bitch.
And that is what Arteme had seen previously when she saw him in the... in fact, Arteme, when she sees this one, this does look to be the same person. He is taller and lankier and doesn't look wholly natural anymore. In that same way that uncanny valley when you see like an alien-like form in a movie or something where they're mostly humanoid, but where the limbs are slightly elongated, the neck is a little bit too long, the head's a little bit too thin, that kind of thing. And the robes are darker.
I need sugar water. Okay. Water or sugar.
Was that Men in Black? Is that what
It
that
is
was?
Men in Black.
Okay.
He did a great job with that.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I wasn't 100% sure. Was that no? That couldn't have been.
It's the guy from Law and Order.
It is
Vincent
Vincent. Okay,
D'Onofrio?
okay.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what you sounded like, but I didn't think because that was the guy that was made up of bugs, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I love Vincent D'Onofrio. He's a good
He's a
actor.
fantastic actor.
You've seen The Cell, right?
I haven't seen this. You've told me to watch that movie.
Dude, that is such a good
times.
fucking movie. It is weird as fuck, but that's like his best role.
Yeah. I like him in
Plays-
pretty much everything he does.
Well,
It's
you
like the
definitely
only
need to watch
good
that
thing
movie.
Lopez ever did.
It's exactly. It's the only good thing.
She was actually good at that, though.
Although, actually, that new movie that came out in like September, where she's a stripper, for being 50, wow, I was
I didn't
fucking
even
blown
see that.
away. Oh man, like she's literally, she's a stripper, and then she just turned 50, and I was quite impressed.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I would not have expected her to look that good at all. All right, anybody really at that age, but not that 50 is even that old, but she does not look 50, that's for sure. Anyways,
Sure.
so that's the guy that you see essentially.
Alright.
The picture never loaded, by the way, but we still remember what it roughly looked like. So
Anybody else? Nobody get
Work-
it?
from me,
Worked
from
for
me,
me.
Beckett.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Well, they may still load, but anyways, yeah. If you guys remember what they look like, so
Alright. Well, we're gonna do this. I'm going to throw my shadow knife at him.
okay. Go ahead and make an attack.
Oh, don't
I'm
hit me.
I'm assuming that the gem in his eye is like photo, so I'm assuming that the invisibility isn't gonna matter. So, do I get
I'm gonna try to
advantage?
break that fucking eye.
I'll tell you that the regular eye did track you when you spun around. He's looking at you,
Okay.
even though you're supposed to be invisible. So
Is it shadowy enough in here that I get advantage?
yeah. Well, shit. No, you have your dancing lights up, so no.
Oh well, it would have. No, it's not concentration. Never mind. Well, I assumed that I would have dropped them when we were going through the hole because I wouldn't have wanted them to light up. Lights
You
underneath.
should have said. Oh, okay. I'm gonna give it to
Okay.
you. I'm gonna give it to you, but remember to say that kind of thing in the future because you did have it up specifically. So, but we'll say that
Okay, we're
yes,
up.
you dropped it. Yes, which means that by the way, everybody in the tunnel is in the dark, so nobody can see anything except for the head. The head shape or head hole of the firelight through the hole that Sarah and
Does
Pogo are going to
no
talk.
one have dark vision? What about the Minotaur?
No, Miotaur don't have it either.
You
Arteme, you could have put up light if you wanted to, but that would
Oh,
have.
yeah. Well, if she drops hers, I'll put mine up. Just for
Well, okay, but she was dropping it specifically when you guys were going to breach this hole, so that you wouldn't be, making a light source come from below.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'll leave it off then.
Okay.
So,
Well, at least we have a giant blind ant on our side.
Not giant yet.
Oh, alright.
Yeah, she
I
didn't
should
turn
pop
into
a
it yet.
slot.
Your turn will be coming up
I
here
was
soon.
just using regular dagger for this, right? Is Venom wants.
Shit.
Knife.
Hang on. Yeah, I'll give you that in just a second. So, Justin, I just put the damage on you from the necrotic effect that he touched you with.
Oh, okay.
And when I did it, it automatically rolls your concentration check. You rolled a natural 1. You got a natural 1 on your concentration check. You see it there?
Yep, I see it.
But I already had you roll it. I'm not going to give you the auto one when you already rolled it.
Okay.
So just go ahead. If you want to go ahead and do it, you still have the concentration effect up. So go ahead and put that back on if you would.
Right.
And then for Sarah here, for your shadow knife.
I think it was just a regular dagger and then doing the damage from the shadow knife. I think it was regular dagger.
Am I blind? Where is it in here?
It's a second level spell.
Oh, I am blind. I scrolled right past it twice. It is you click the cast button where it says melee +6. You click that for the attack, and then if it hits, you roll the damage one, which is the 2d8 psychic. There you go, which does hit. So you spin yourself around to where you can get a view of him. You see his eye follow you, and then you fling this is kind of this lance of shadow out through the hole. It connects with his left shoulder below where the eye is, and he kind of reaches over towards it, and it immediately fades away and disappears as you have it recalled. It looks to have hurt him, but give me a perception check on Sarah. Oh, sorry. Well, never mind. He looks somehow unnatural in his movements. Is the best you'd be able to figure out. Is that if your turn? Any bonus actions?
Well, the bonus action is to bring it up, and then the action is to throw it.
That's right.
So
Okay.
I'm just going to move out of the way so Nora can get through, because there's not enough room for me to get up through there, and he's gonna have to get through. So.
Okay. There's not enough room for Norak to get through it yet either, but because he's bigger than you guys are, it's wide enough for yours or Pogo's shoulders. Norak's shoulders are a little bit wider than that. So, but that if your turn then?
Yeah.
All right. So you are. How far away are you moving with it? Because you pretty much are gonna have to be like against the side to make enough space for anybody else to get through.
How long is the ramp thing? You said
The ramp's about 20-25 feet up at a sharp angle.
I'll go down that far.
Okay.
To the bottom of the ramp.
Okay. All right. Then go ahead. I have the tunnel map. I'll go ahead and share that to you guys too, in case you guys need to, you go back and forth or anything. You can. Just because I didn't have it all on one map. By the way, also that the map of the tent looks like a cave because I didn't have a tent map, so it's just I'm just using that. But the walls of it are tent, not cave. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, then I'm gonna put Sarah.
We're not gonna judge you on that.
I mean, so as long as you guys understand
come
what
on,
you're saying. There we go. And then we can move you guys between them, of course, as needed. But Pogo, you are on the roof with Sarah. And Arteme down here as well. Here you guys go. All right. And then the kids, of course, are with the Miotau. I didn't have a top-down token already because I wasn't expecting you guys to have the Miotau with you. But the Erdeman, though, you guys, you would have recognized at some point that based on what Pepperjack told you that this guy is probably an Erdeman anyway, which are the kind of generals and political leaders. They're magisters amongst the Vavians, but he's essentially like an important leader of the Legion that's here. But like a higher ranking Seerman anyways. It is his turn though.
Good thing we're all in one group. That's probably not going to hurt us.
Well, he doesn't have a great line of sight to be able to see you anyway. You guys wouldn't do, in fact, and by that same token, you guys can't see him. You hear movement from above, and you hear not stomping. You hear like footprints essentially somewhere else inside the tent. Is what you hear. I don't want to, put it on the map yet because you guys can't see it. But that's all you hear. Norak, it is your turn.
Okay, so the bottom of the map is heading up into the tent. So the way we're facing right now.
You should have two maps.
Yeah, the bottom of the tunnel map heads up into the tent.
Yeah.
Okay,
So if you're basically, I just put you on there so that you guys, can have a little bit of a marching order. So we'll just, you know what, I'll just move it back for simplicity's sake. So the Miotao is back here with the kids.
And the hole is right about there?
The hole would be basically at the very end of this tunnel, where Norok is.
And then we pop out in front of where the Erdeman is?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, actually, I'll go ahead and, yeah, exactly. Where that pink arrow is for Pogo, that's where the hole is. It's not big enough for you yet, though. You're going to have to dig it out still.
Then, yeah, I'm going to head over to where I saw them drop back through, because they came back down, right? Pogo and they're right there. Yep. So I will go and try to use Vulcan and just swing at it and smash the dirt as quickly as I can to try to get that hole broken up to where I can get it up in it.
Okay. As you are carving away at it, I will tell you that one attack is enough for you to cleave out, a good amount of mud of dirt of this to kind of make enough space. So you kind of we'll just call it one of your attacks essentially to carve out enough space.
Okay, and then so I'm going to try to jump up through the hole and pop myself through there.
Okay, that's going to take your action essentially to try to pull yourself up through it. Well, we'll call it that you can basically cleave enough of it and then try to climb through as your action. But as soon as your head pops up through it, you look over and see this first time you're seeing it. But this Erdeman has moved away from the hole, and he has both hands held out towards you and releases a beam of kind of sickly black and green energy out towards you. Let me see. I don't remember if it's an attack spell or a save. I think it's a save. Nope, it's an attack.
I can't see this, can I?
No. But he rolled shitty. He only got a 13, so it misses. This beam that he sends out towards you, you have just enough time that you kind of throw your arm out of the way, which you end up having to drop yourself down. Basically, you had both elbows up through the hole, but to dodge out of the way of this, you have to throw one arm away, leaving you just hanging up from your right arm, which you fall back down into the hole slightly to cause that. So you're still hanging on to the top of this, and you can still pull yourself up through it. But you're going to need to make it athletics or acrobatics to try to climb your way up through the hole. He was holding his action to cast a spell at you. You've seen that spell. Norak probably wouldn't have recognized the spell. If Sarah had been up here, you could have identified what it was or been able to tell what the spell was, but Norak not. Okay. So go ahead and give me an athletics check.
All right, and of course, going to rage first.
Okay.
But use my last one.
Have you ever burned all your rages in a day before?
I think once, when I had 3 still, or 2 still, something like that. But
right. Oh. Did I move you on the other?
Yeah, when we had that really long day where we didn't get to take a rest.
Oh, he's so tiny!
Yeah, I couldn't figure what the hell it was. It's because the scaling was different from one map to the other. There you go.
Lost
now
half my size when I jumped through that hole, like I got chunks of kids.
Now there's a shrink ray. I'll remove the arrow, but that's the spot where you're at. So you actioned to climb yourself through, bonus action to get yourself up there, and you've spent, to get to the end of the tunnel, you probably have another 10 feet of movement left. And when you climb up, by the way, you spot another of that looks literally the exact same as this guy.
Okay. I was going to say, I was going to take a look around if I took it as a free action to see what that footsteps were, but I see it. So I am going to step out of the way.
Okay, give me a perception.
Is that 10 feet? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep. Give me a perception check on Norok.
Okay, then I'll wait there after I do this perception check. So that way everybody else can get through.
Okay. Okay. Both of these two, that you see them moving just ever so slightly, they're not moving naturally. I would say that you haven't rolled high enough to be able to kind of gather that, but I'll tell you that it's very disconcerting. That their movement seems very disconnected. Is as best as you can make that out right now.
based off of that roll? Are they moving exactly the same, like one's a mirror image, or are they both
No.
moving it?
No, they're moving.
Okay.
They're moving isolated. They're not. They're not a mirror. Is as you've described it. No. But they definitely do not be. They're not moving naturally. There's something odd about their movements that you haven't been able to figure out just yet. But elsewise in the room, you do see that there are 3 halflings that are chained to wooden posts here. There are 3 bodies, one on a scaffold, 2 other by a thing. Actually, you may not be able to see those well, but there's some bodies laying around, and then there's a writhing woman that is laying on a scaffold nearby that does resemble Maine.
Okay.
All right, it is Fogo's turn.
All right. So Pogo.
So you're 20 feet from. Well, you're on the broom with Sarah, but you're 20 feet from.
Hi. What Pogo's gonna do is he's going to. I'm still invisible, but it doesn't really matter, right?
As far as you can tell, that now the thing is, I would say that you maybe could make an intelligence check for this, but you were making a hole. So even if a thing just saw this hole there, assumes that something is digging it and put its hand into the hole, it would have touched you. Does that make sense? But having seen the gem in its eye, you might have gathered that it's, that it was able to see you. Sarah did see that the eye followed her, so Sarah would know for sure. Becky, just drop.
She was having her headphones seem to cut out, so she's gonna drop, pop back in, and see if it helps.
Okay.
She couldn't hear anything.
Okay.
Okay, I am going to. Let's see. I'm just going to use my movement 5, 10, 15, 20.
Well, you're on the broom.
I'm going to use. Oh, I'm on the broom. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to aim for this.
You can jump down from
How
it.
high is the broom up? Is the broom high up, or is it just by the floor?
Well, I mean, there's not room for it to be high up. You're kind of in the center of this tunnel. It's
Okay.
5 feet. It's,
Yeah,
3 feet from the floor.
I'm gonna get off the broom, and I'm gonna go ahead and run up to the tunnel and climb out to where Norak is, or where
Okay.
Norak was.
It'll pretty much take almost. I would say you have 5 feet left once you make it to into the room.
I'm just gonna.
Okay. Give me
So I'll
either
get out
an
of the
athletics. Yeah, athletics check to get out of the hole.
All right.
Hey, natural 20.
Thank God.
You danced your way up out of this hole. You can go 5 feet in whatever direction you want from where you are on the game map. So,
All right.
10.
So this higher in front of me, is that cover? Looks like it's pretty high up, or what is that in front of me? Between me and the second Sirdaman mage.
Yeah, that's actually. So you're talking about
That way.
this thing?
Yeah.
Oops, hang on.
Smaller.
That thing
Yeah.
where the woman is. Yeah, that's 4 feet off the ground. It's taller than you
Okay.
are.
Perfect. So I'm gonna go there, and then I'm going to cast as my bonus action, Spiritual Banjo.
All right. Give me a perception check.
A perception check. Right.
I didn't get the. I should have
I
played.
feel like I used to do this right.
It's there.
Oh, that's not very good.
Yeah. Same thing. These guys are like that. You saw that they're both. Even when they're sitting still, their movement, it's like they're moving in place where they're standing still, and it's very odd. It's hard to place exactly how. But you throw out your banjo.
And I'm gonna put it right next to the one closest to me, closest to Norak.
Okay. You made the attack already, but you didn't have him targeted.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're fine. But it does hit. That's an 18.
Okay.
So go ahead and move it wherever you want it to be.
Which side? Which eye is all fucking
His
glittery?
left eye. His left eye.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to
Both
hit
of
him
them.
right in his fucking eye.
Okay. Was that Fox or Becky that said something?
Oh, that's Becky. Back.
I see Becky's back. Say something, Becky. Okay. All right.
Oh, do I do this
Yep.
on myself? Oh, I definitely on myself. All right.
Can
Oh,
all of
okay.
us climb out of the
That's
hole,
why.
or-
Yeah. No. Pogo moved backwards. So the hole is still basically it's open right now. So there's nobody in it right now. Although it is slightly larger from Norak having made it bigger, so it's about that big. So big enough for everybody to get out.
Oh, sorry.
Your turn is it's coming up. Not there just yet. The other.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're actually right after this guy though.
Okay. Just wondering.
You haven't been forgotten. You just rolled the lowest, and actually you didn't roll initiative. That's why.
Oh,
It was right when you went to AFK. So go ahead and roll
That makes
initiative.
sense.
And then, assuming that you're higher than this guy, because this guy's pretty low. Okay, go ahead and make your turn. Actually, it would have been you after Pogo anyway.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah, worked out.
Nice.
perfect.
size
work out.
initiative? Oh,
Yeah,
versus
okay, so
really
she's
low,
a-
okay.
Well, she is pretty low, but that gives her a total of 6. Let me put her in here. Which actually she will be... Oh, she's not a bad guy. There you go. She will actually be right after you and right before that guy. So, works out perfect. Alright,
So it's my turn.
yep, your turn.
So I'm gonna
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics check. It's not high enough. Like basically, it's right at the edge so that you guys could climb out of it. So as long as it's called an easy check. So just anything above a 5.
I feel like me and Serafina would be the only ones that might have a problem.
Well, without the broom, if you'd rolled that low, maybe just because you're not quite tall, obviously.
Sure.
All right. Fox, you can be basically touching that that circle. So on any edge of that, wherever you want to be. So go ahead and move yourself, whichever side of it you want to be. Okay. You'd need, because that one is partially where the pyre is. You'd have to be like right there
Okay.
in the whole square. So as long as that works for you.
Yep, that works. And then
Okay.
I'm gonna use my braided boom lash.
Okay. Are you gonna try to pull him as well?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the attack. He succeeds against the save to pull him. You have to make the attack still, though. Braided green. Actually, did I put it on the...
The attack's
That's...
not-
Okay. It did.
Ooh.
Oh,
It's up
Oh,
at the
never
very
mind.
top. It's at the very top. The attack worked as far as the you attempting to pull him, but he saved. He rolled an 18 against your
Okay.
14. So but you still have to try to actually hit him with the lash. So very top where your weapons are.
oh, right. It's not
Yeah.
down there. Okay.
Yeah. I can put it in the spell if you'd rather.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice because I was trying to hit the attack on the spell and that's what didn't
Okay.
work.
Okay. All right, but the actual lash misses anyway. So you try to send it out to try to bite at him, and the lash just passes over. He just kind of ducks down. Give me a perception check.
Perception.
Yep. Natural 20. So you remember that scene in the Matrix where they're shooting bullets at Neo and he's like in multiple places at once? You understand what I'm talking about? Where he like leans back. That
Like where the bullets are slow motion, he's just literally leaning.
yeah, that
back.
cliche, exactly, where he's leaning backwards, that kind of cliched scene. That's kind of what it looks like with these guys' movements. Like the both of them, you only saw the other just briefly, but they look very, with your role, they don't seem like they're connected to time in the same way that other things are, in that he's able to be in multiple places at the same time, both of these individually. You didn't see the other one enough to I would give you more information, but you weren't able to see the other one for any more than that. But basically, they definitely seem disconnected from time.
Oh, yeah.
But when you send the whip out, he is in multiple places at once and just dodging out of the way as the whip goes over his head. Any bonus actions?
I'm gonna prep slowly.
Okay. So you pull your staff off of your back and covered in vines and leaves and sharp thorns. It is Sai's turn. Did you climb up? Did you have her with you when you climbed up? Like on your shoulder or anything?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then she's already out there with you. Let me shrink her down a little bit. All right. What is she doing?
She's gonna try and distract with my attack.
Okay. Go ahead and use the action that you have.
Yep, dead.
All right. Then it is the other one's turn now. And this one is a save. Everybody except Sarah, give me a wisdom save.
had to be wisdom.
Oh, another natural 20. Shit.
Yay,
The fox
my
breaks the
bad.
curse.
No!
I
Jeez,
don't know.
okay, and
probably
Pogo got a
not.
natural 22.
I probably
you-
did. It's just a fluke. Believe
No,
me.
no,
It's probably just a
no,
fluke from
maybe.
3 weeks off.
Norak
Maybe.
is going to explode here in a second, unfortunately.
Well, it's not quite that, but it's definitely a very unfortunate effect that both Pogo and Arteme ignored with natural 20s on both. Norak, as you're standing there and noticing the strangeness in this guy's movements, you feel extremely sluggish and like you're moving through molasses. You are slow.
That's not good.
And he moved over to the other side of the fire before he casted that. And then as a bonus action... Where's his bonus actions? There they are. Well, it's actually a special action, not a bonus action, but... this is another save, but it's on, I think, 3 targets. Let me see. Charisma saves. So, Arteme, Pogo, and Norak give me charisma.
Give me what, sorry?
Charisma saves.
Jackpot!
That's at least one that Pogo's good at normally.
Ouch.
Arteme and Norak are also similarly slowed, is narratively how we'll describe it. You both have the Bane effect on you. And that's it for his turn. The two of them, the kids of course, are down there with the Miotao. They're going to stay down there. It's Sarah's turn.
Right. So, come up the hole. So, like,
I don't know if you can change maps like that.
I'll pull you, to the other one. You guys, well, I'll leave the tunnel one up in case you guys end up needing it. But you can fly to the edge of it. The flight is what, 50 feet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so no climbing, no athletics check or anything needed. But it was 20 feet there, which means you still have 30 feet left. So you can 30 feet from the actual circle. So wherever, if you're going to continue moving or whatever you're doing.
yeah, I'm gonna go over here.
Okay.
And you kind of stole my idea, but I'm gonna do it anyways, and I'm going to cast slow.
Okay. Their checks, how do I say this? It's basically they have advantage against this, against this kind of magical effect, is how I'll tell it to you. But I can't, there's no way for me to put like a defensive version of that, so roll this with disadvantage when you make the attack, or the slow. So just click the disadvantage when you roll it. There you go. Well, it's better than it could have been. Your DC of 14, one of them got a total of 17, the other got a total of 13. But because you see the names as the exact same, even though they're not the exact same, go ahead and give me an Arcana check on Sarah. Well, you didn't roll high enough to be able to understand what it is you're seeing, but I'll tell you that it's clear to you that the one that's by the fire is not not the natural one, I guess. Do you guys know what a simulacrum is? Okay. Think of it like a clone, like a badly made, like a magical clone, essentially. It still operates on its own and everything else. It's very limited. It can't heal. It can't get spell slots back. Things like that. It's basically like a clone that has very limited functionality that can still cast spells.
Unsatisfactory imitation or substitute.
There you go. Did you just Google it?
I did, because I'm starting to think you're making shit up sometimes.
Yeah.
By all means, go through.
Simulacrum.
Simulacrum.
Have you guys?
Go through.
My favorite is when you're like, "Do you guys know what a simulacrum?" I can't even say the word.
Simulacrum. It's not that hard.
Simulacrum. You guys know what a simulacrum is? And I feel like I can
every word I use.
hear your eyes roll, or your eye roll in the background.
Most of them, I don't ever expect anybody to know some of the ridiculous vocabulary.
Simulacrum.
You're just one of those people who loves just learning new languages. For new
I
languages.
love learning anything. I constantly shit. But if anything, if I ever come across something I haven't heard of before in like a movie or a show or just reading news, anything of that sort, I always research it. So
Simulacrum.
Why did I
Was
have
that-
disadvantage
because
on
these
the
okay.
arcane or on the Arcana check?
That you shouldn't have had disadvantage on. Oh, did you still have the disadvantage clicked in the bottom left?
I don't think when I clicked the disadvantage that it worked for the cast of.
Oh, it didn't. No, it didn't. It only rolled them. Yeah. Okay. In that case, I'm gonna have them. I'll have them roll, a second time each for those to see which, they're able to take the better for them, which roll it is. But for yours, actually, with the Arcana check, you rolled it with minus the disadvantage means you got a 17 plus 5. So you, having some familiarity with the arcane, would recognize that this is an arcane clone of some kind. It's called a simulacrum. It's actually a spell called simulacrum too. So that's where when he stepped away and you guys heard extra footsteps, that's what it was. He had summoned a simulacrum. But
A summon simulacrum?
you know the word summon is.
Summoner summoning a simulacrum?
All right, but that is okay. Hang on.
Summoner summoning a simulated simulacrum?
One of them succeeded already, so that one won't matter. But I can't tell which one's which. I'm gonna, just for the benefit of the doubt, I'm gonna give you the primary one is the one that failed. So we'll give him his extra roll here because it would have been at advantage. See if he makes it. What kind of a check was that? It's wisdom.
I believe. Oh yeah.
All right, he got a 15. So with advantage, he still would have succeeded. So against your DC of 14. So slow did not work. Any bonus actions?
I don't think I have anything I can do right now for a bonus action, so no.
You still have your knife up. Can you throw it as a bonus action?
No, I can retrieve it.
Okay. Okay. In that case, then it is, and I'm labeled the other one as a simulacrum, so you'll see them, so you can tell the difference basically. I'll tell you too that Sarah would know this. Simulacrums are never as healthy as the other one. If that makes sense. So Sarah would know that, not necessarily anybody else. You guys may not recognize that, that difference. The primary one, though, seeing that he's got a very annoying little fox at its heels, a banjo trying to club him in the head, and a giant in front of him, is going to actually step towards Norok. The side doesn't get an opportunity attacks, does she?
At least we caught him by surprise, am I right?
What's that?
I think at least we caught him by surprise. Everything else in our plan, shit.
Well, I'll tell you too that tunneling isn't exactly silent. So no matter what you did, I mean, it would have made noise underneath the tent anyway. But him being in there in the room just for the timing that you guys happened to do this. If you had done it earlier, meaning like if you guys had come straight here, he might have been asleep or somewhere else. But the time when you guys showed up here, it's 5 a.m. basically. He's back to work, let's call it. So anyways, for when this happened, it made sense for him to be here. And you hear, somebody clawing at the floor, and then see, he can see it, but see a little gnome head pop through. Of course, he's gonna have an opportunity to react there. Anyway, he actually steps towards Norok, which might seem strange, but the movement of which is, of course, very like jerky and odd. But he is going to just reach one hand out and try to put his hand on Norok's chest for
Spell?
a 22. What's that?
Is that a spell?
No, it's an attack. It's just a touch. There's a magical effect, but it's not a spell that he's casting. But he reaches out and is able to, like you, Norok, you're trying to pull away, but there's just too many of these hands, of these Matrix-style hands, that he just puts one square in the center of your chest. You feel life draining out of your body. For a total of 8, he didn't do that much, but it's you feel it draining out through that, hurting you, and it's clear that it's healing him.
Alright, can I use my tribal endurance since that was technically an attack?
Yeah.
Okay.
It hits.
Sweet.
So you, as he's got his hand out towards your chest, you just cleave, like you kind of pull a Vulcan off and just swing it one-handed through him, through the center of this mass of shape, and you feel it pass through, but it's like passing through syrup. Like it feels like there's not a body there, although it did have a physical reaction as it passed through. The eye, the only eye that you can see, goes wide, and immediately the other hand reaches out and grabs your arm. It's a reaction, same thing, the same kind of touch as the previous one, which also hits. It is spending his reaction to do it for another 9 damage to you.
Can you react off a reaction?
He hadn't spent his reaction yet, so yeah.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know how that worked, because I guess it's technically I hate him, so that would he could react off of that. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But you can tell he's healing himself every time he does it.
Okay.
So keep that in mind too.
Can you tell that he's healing himself?
No, you felt your energy passing out of you and into the hand as it touched the back of your head, but you're not seeing anything other than that he keeps like touching Norok with his hands. He's not holding anything; his hands are empty. But he's done this twice to Norok now and once to you. So you might have an idea that it's healing him. But that is it for his action and reaction. But he is going to. You know what? Actually, this one will be visible to Sarah, so he is going to attempt to cast a spell, which is a save, a Constitution 18 for Norok. It is okay. Well, it's actually only 2nd level, so you don't need to. I think if it's 3rd or below, it automatically cancels it, right?
3rd level or lower, yeah.
Okay. I would say you recognize that basically he touched him with his right hand on the chest and then his left hand on the arm, and then his right hand, as he's pulled it away from his chest, you see the kind of greenish, blackish, the same beam that he had fired at Norok earlier. He starts to incant that with his right hand, and you just cancel it. You're using the rod to do it?
No.
You're just casting it as a spell slot?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, go ahead and mark off your spell slot.
Because doesn't I can't use the rod.
Oh, the rod has to be
at
you.
me.
That's right. Yep. Okay. Alright, go ahead and mark off your spell slot then. And that is it for his turn. He is still, okay. He is still right in front of Norok. Go ahead, G. I'll tell you too that, by the way, the damage that he's doing to you is not physical, it's necrotic. So keep that in mind. It's not, basically your rage isn't helping to half it because it's not slashing or anything of that sort. Although it's a melee attack, it's necrotic damage.
Spooky.
You are slowed, by the way, so I did put that effect on you, right? Yep, I did. Okay, so your AC is reduced by that, but the slow effect means you can take an action or a bonus action, not both, and you only get 1 attack per round, even if you have multi-attack. Okay. And you have Bane, and you have Exhaustion. You are really screwed. Okay, hang on. If you're going to Reckless, though, you realize what that means, right?
I know. I'm already slowed and shit anyway. It don't fucking matter anymore.
No, that's fine. You have 2 because of the Exhaustion effect and the Bane effect. You have 2d4 being subtracted from your roll on top. Oh, never mind. I was thinking Great Weapon Master. I always get the 2 mixed up.
No,
I was thinking you were
fine.
Great Weapon Master, which would be another -5. So like you'd have like potentially -19.
Well, this guy's too fast for that. I'm thinking so.
Okay.
Just regular.
Hey, shit. Well, that's good. So you rolled plenty high that with the 2d4, you only got a -1 and a -2, meaning a 22, which still hits.
Fucker.
Actually, with your Great Weapon Master might have just barely still hit too. All right, you send your axe through the center body mass of this thing, and again you cleave through it, but it's like you're literally like you're cutting through like sap or something. Like the axe almost wants to stick inside of it, and you have to yank it back out. It's clear that it's hurting him, but it's like it's not passing through flesh.
Okay.
All right, Pogo's turn.
So, can I see that it seems like his axe is just passing through this syrupy material?
Yeah, it definitely does not look natural. Usually, I mean, if you would see an axe pass into a body, it would, sink into flesh and you'd see a spray of blood. You're not seeing that at all. It's like it's passing through an illusion. Not an illusion. That's not. I don't want to give that impression that he's not really there. It definitely is, but
But
you
he's just
see the
not
way that
really-
he's moving.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not getting hurt like a human normally would.
Correct. Yeah, it does appear to be hurting him.
So he does appear to be hurt.
Yeah, he does appear to be hurt. You're just not. You don't see no. There's no blood except for. I'll tell you, the robes look like they're clearly stained in blood, but it doesn't look like it's his. It doesn't look
Okay.
like they came from wounds. Well, I
He's
say
just covered in. He's covered in what looks like human syrup.
Well, I mean, he's probably the one responsible for the torture that's going on in here. All of the three halflings are very wounded, and you guys haven't looked at the woman yet, but she's
So-
in very tough shape.
I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna say, you're a kind of an ugly, blurry bastard, aren't you? And I'm gonna cast Vicious Mockery.
Well, okay. Okay, shit. I was thinking that was your roll, because it was a natural 1. But that was actually his save, so it's
Yes!
in your benefit.
So
His
we're gonna
save
do
is a
that.
natural one,
We're gonna
so-
do that for 9 damage and give him disadvantage on something. I
On
don't
attacks.
remember.
No, it's disadvantage on
Yeah.
attacks, meaning that
Yeah,
the
disadvantage on
hands-
attacks.
Yeah, the necrotic hands that he's using, that he'll
Sure.
have disadvantage on that.
And then I'm going to, for my bonus action, I'm going to go ahead and swing my banjo at his dumb glittery eye, since I'm pretty sure that's the reason I got fucking hurt in my head.
Okay.
So we'll do that as my bonus. Let's roll for that.
And it hits.
And damage there.
That's totally thematically appropriate, right?
And then I am going to hide right back here behind this pyre.
Okay. Hiding is an
Or not
actual
actually
action,
hiding,
but-
just I'm
okay,
just
but
going to
you're
go
just trying
back
to
behind
get
here,
yourself
so
cover.
hopefully they can't see me.
Okay. You probably have half cover from either of them at that where you're at. So, all right, Artemis' turn.
Okay.
Did
I
you?
think
Where did mage armor come from? Was that from earlier?
Probably.
Well, it lasts 8 hours.
Oh,
I-
and she slept 4 hours. Yeah, it's still up then. Cool.
Okay, I'm gonna use my thermal bomb.
Okay. Come on, natural 20. See if we can make a record. I don't think Fox has ever had more than one natural 20 in a session before.
Well, now it won't happen.
Oh, because I called it out?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I did miss. So it was a 5, -2 from the Bane, +6 from your modifier for a total of 9.
Okay.
Nice.
next.
Any bonus actions? You do have your staff out with Shillelagh up.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack with that one.
You're gonna do what?
I'm gonna attack with Shillelagh, so I cast Shillelagh on myself and then use it.
Well, so you already casted it, but the attack action would be your full action.
Oh, I hadn't casted it because I wasn't sure if I had to cast it on myself.
Oh, yeah, it's a bonus action to cast it, so you can do it now as a bonus action.
Okay, because I already cast
Seriously? It's not for because it's not that's the attack action. But
it. Wait, that's the
it-
attack, but that was the cast button on the attack, so that's why I'm confused. Like, how do
Oh, I
do
see
it?
what you mean. Okay, I
Oh,
see.
I hit the wrong one.
Yeah, you hit the cast button instead of the effect button at the bottom for Shillelagh self. But that is
Right,
3
okay.
natural. Now that one doesn't count, but it would have been 3 natural 20s in a session for you. You
Yeah,
broke a record, but not an official one.
Yeah.
Not an on-record one. All right, so you have the effect up though, right? You have it on there now.
I have the effect up there. Okay, so now I just hit it with my normal attack? With my quarter staff?
Well, you used your action to cast Thorn Whip.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so you've casted Shillelagh now essentially, but you still technically have your bonus action because you didn't use it in the previous round, which would have been Shillelagh.
Oh, okay. I don't really have anything.
Okay. Is that it for your turn then?
Yep.
All right, then Sai's turn.
Yeah, she's just gonna keep distracted.
Okay,
Could-
same
could
one,
we-
the full version.
Yep.
Oh, Justin.
Oh, never mind.
All right, the Simulacrum's turn. He is seeing the two halflings up here. Remember, they were very much after halflings. You guys know that, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And there's 2 of them right now that are in here.
I mean, we are
those
delicious, so.
That's probably why. Yeah, it's probably because of the edibility of halflings. Looking at the two of you here, he holds a hand out towards the well, in your direction, towards the both of you. Both of you give me con saves.
And I'm going to use cutting words to distract him and make him lose his focus. So.
Okay. So you're both going to try to use a reaction. You definitely both can.
I can't. I used my reaction to help him out.
Oh, for counterspell, yeah. So you can't use the rod. But you have to remember to pull the rod out. And you haven't said that.
Do I click
but
cast?
I'll say that you have for now.
Do I click cast or a save?
For you, I think for cutting words, it uses one of your bardic inspirations, right?
Yes. I'll
All
mark
so
off right now.
Mark that off, and then I think you just roll the. Are they d8s right now? They are d8s. Yeah, so just roll a d8. Hang on. Cutting words. Okay, so you would not use cutting words in this particular case. So if it was an attack spell, meaning if it was a spell that he was making an attack roll towards you, that's when you would use cutting words. This one is you making a save against it. Can you use your inspiration as a reaction? No, you can't.
No. Okay, so never mind then.
Yeah, in this particular case, yeah, it wouldn't help you.
All right.
Just make your con save versus an 18. Sarah as well.
All right. Money, big money, no whammy. Damn it.
Nope. It's a pretty high DC. So
Yeah, 18.
it's pretty powerful, of course.
Have me do those charisma checks all day long.
Becky, you gonna roll yours?
Oh shit! Sorry. Charisma check or Constitution?
Constitution. You gotta be an 18.
Constitution? Okay.
Yep.
Check or save?
Oh, it's just the two of them. He can't get you in it. Basically, he couldn't get all three of you. So it was just Pogo and Sarah, the two halflings. But both of you feel you see when he's holding his hands out. You see there's kind of that same kind of weird flowing motion of his hand moving there, drawing an arcane sigil. But there's no the sigil is invisible even to Sarah. But you both feel your vision beginning to fade and darken until you are in complete blackness, both of you.
Oh.
You are both blinded. All right, and that is it for his turn. Come back around to Sarah. So your vision has gone dark. You can still hear, you can still kind of sense what's going on around you.
Marco!
The Pogo is very, very frantically yelling for some reason. And he's near, next to a pool of blood, but other than that, you can't see anything. What are you doing?
I guess.
You do hear my Evie, like you're next to her now. You can tell that that's her. Because I already said the podium was tall enough to hide Sarah or to hide Pogo. You can see that she's on top of it, but you can't see her wounds or anything. Obviously, you can't see anything now, but I'll tell you, you weren't able to see her wounds. You can see her groaning. Artemay can though, so when Artemay's turn comes around, if you guys want to see what shape she's in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna yell out, maybe. Maybe we should just get the fuck out of here. And I'm going to just throw my shadow knife in the direction of where he was.
Okay. Yeah, you can still make those attacks. It's just a disadvantage. So you can throw them. You know what? I'm going to tell you, though, actually, that there were two halflings that were wounded and chained to the things that you saw before your vision faded that are right next to where he was.
Okay. So how does this work? Because I get advantage in shadow, but I'm trying to get disadvantage. So is it just a
Be right back,
roll?
guys.
Okay. It would be a straight check, yes. A straight roll.
Right.
But I'm telling you, if you even get slightly below his AC, you're probably going to hit one of those halflings. If you miss by too much, you're going to hit one of the prisoners. It's up to you. You do know that you're throwing at the simulacrum too, by the way, the one that's not. He hasn't been injured, but you know that they're not as healthy as the one that they came from.
Yeah, at this point, the fact that Sarah can't see, I don't think she cares.
Okay. Always killing the innocent people. That's Becky's forte. And you did miss. So, his... What's that?
You said did or didn't?
It missed.
I missed.
Oh.
Yeah. But I'll tell you that his AC is not that far off. You got a 15. His AC is not far enough off of a 15 that you didn't hear a reaction of a wounded halfling crying. Let's say you didn't kill an innocent civilian this time, despite your best efforts.
But at this point, I don't think that darkness is going to help at all, so I'm going to waste my last sorcery points, and I'm going to call Shan.
Okay.
Oh, shit, no, I can't. I can't see him anymore. Never mind.
Yeah, you have to be able to see the target.
Yep, so I'll just call my Shadow Knife back then.
Okay. Now, the way that deafness and blindness works is you get, at the end of your turn, you get to try to make a save again. So, it's the end of your turn now. Go ahead and make another con save. You have to beat an 18.
Jeez.
Nope.
Blind forever.
It only lasts for 1 minute, so, I mean, it would eventually
So, just long enough for us to get murdered completely.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
Alright, no, it's all up to you, buddy.
And he's pretty jacked up, too. Like, he's got multiple negative effects to slow
Hey.
and
At
Bane
least
on
I'm
him.
pretty sure I just did like 24 damage to this fucking guy, so that wasn't too bad.
He is injured. He doesn't look
Yeah.
particularly hurt yet, but he is injured. What's that, Becky?
I have a question. So
Yeah.
if I bring the rod out and I'm holding it in front of me, if somebody casts a spell at me, will it automatically use my
You have
reaction?
to no. You have to know the spell's coming.
Damn.
You basically you're intercepting it. You have to use your reaction, which means you have to know the spell's coming. I would say that there will be circumstances potentially where you don't necessarily have to see the spell coming, but you have to know that the spell's coming. I guess. But don't worry about that for right now. If the situation comes up, I'll let you know. So blindness isn't necessarily going to keep that. You know, there's still a situation where blindness would work. Basically, is how I'll say that. Anyway.
Well, then I will have the rod out then.
Okay. The Erdeman that's directly in front of Norok is the same hand that you would. Well, Sarah, you're not seeing this, of course, but the same hand that he had the spell canceled out of his hand from Sarah starts to spin around with what look like arcane glyphs of rotten leaves as he's kind of reaching out and like point blank square into Norok's chest. Norok, it is a con save 18 again.
At least he's got disadvantage on it if it's an attack.
It's not the same. It's a different. This is an actual spell. But you did not. Well, it was to beat an 18. You got a 14 total. It is blight. You guys know that effect. That what the rotten leaves look like is 8d8 necrotic damage. Which is shit. He rolled really well. Did 40 damage. Norok falls unconscious with the
Oh, we're all gonna fucking die!
Gee, it is your turn, and that means that this is your first death save, maybe like ever. No, you had when you got knocked unconscious from the
rocks.
guy. Yeah. Death save on Norok. Oh shit. Okay, hang on now. I did not realize off the top of my head. I did not realize. I guess that so death saves are really just a con check. That's all they are. They're well, it's really a check. You don't actually get your modifier bonuses. But Bane and I think since it's not fair, basically since you don't get your modifier against it, I don't think that Bane or exhaustion should affect your con saves or your death saves either. So I think what we'll do is we'll ignore those for the purposes specifically of death saves. Everybody understand what I'm saying?
In this game, if you die and then you're brought back, do you still have all negative effects that you had before?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
if it's something that, yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's still, in fact, actually, it'll be worse because when you come back again, you're gonna have a second level of exhaustion now. So it'll go from being D4s to being D6s. But the Bane and the effects and everything that are on him, those are cast by someone else. So as long as that person keeps their concentration. Actually, he did not make a concentration save when Pogo hit him with the banjo. So hang on, let me see if he still has his slow effect up. So slow was from the other guy. Bane was from this guy. So just in case, we'll see if the Bane would have fallen off. He got a 6. A 5 plus 1 for a total of 6, which means the concentration effect on Bane fell. So you are no longer Bane. Let's take that off. Because he lost his concentration for that, and that was on Artemis as well. but that would not have saved you, I don't think. No, it was a 3. No, it still wouldn't have been. It would have been a 17. So you still would not quite. You would have been 1 off from making the save from Blight hitting you, G. So you still got knocked unconscious, and you have 1 failed death save because you rolled a 7. So as far as death saves are concerned,
I thought I rolled a 1 and got 2 failed death saves. I thought it was in worse shape.
No,
it was a 1, not a 7.
No,
So-
you rolled a 7, and then you had
Yeah.
2 -3s because of the D4s, the exhaustion and bane, for a total of 1. But it would have been, basically, we're not going to count modifiers for death save. Since you don't get positive modifiers, I don't think it's fair for you to have the negative modifiers. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yeah.
So you got a 7, so it's only 1 failed death save, not 2. But that is it for your turn. It is Pogo's turn.
Oh, Christ!
You did hear your very large friend fall to the bottom of the tent, unconscious. But you can't see anything.
All right. So first, I'm trying to think. I'm going through everything that I can do without seeing a target, and the options are limited. So this is what I still think I know where the Erdeman is.
Okay.
So I'm going to first use my bonus action to attack with Spiritual Banjo again. See if it hits.
I think the banjo. I don't think it would have. Well, you rolled a natural 1, so maybe not.
Well,
I was
that's
gonna
the
say.
hit. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I think the banjo would still know where it is. Basically, you don't necessarily need to see it.
Sure. Just be like, Banjo, hit him in the fucking head in front of me. Avenge me, Banjo. And then it just swings around wildly and misses everything. Right. So now, what I'm going to do is I am going to, based off where he is, I'm going to cast right at. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Right. Let me get.
Okay. So it's too late now. I'm just going to tell you, your bardic inspirations. You could use that to help you get out of this because every round you have, that you get to roll. At the end of your turn, you get to roll to try to break the blindness effect, to try to short it off.
At the end.
And you could have used your inspiration to help you do that. It would have been your bonus action. It would have been a D8 to your D20 roll. Would have made
That's
it.
okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm going to. I want to make this bigger. Well, basically, I'm going to cast Sleep right about the middle of that area. Well, you know what? I guess it wouldn't matter. Well, I don't know Norak's dead yet. I'm going to cast Sleep in a general area where I think it's still going to hit this Ardaman.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast that. It's a level 1 spell, and I think I'm going to cast it at
You're trying to cast it on the full version of the Erdeman, not the...
And I'm going to cast it at level 3.
Okay.
Earning my last level 3 spots. And... Oh, do I not have to roll to hit? Does this just fucking go?
Yeah, you have to roll the 5d4, I think it is, right? Actually, if you're casting it higher.
It's at 3, it's 5, 7, 9 d8s.
Okay, go ahead and roll all the dice. You know how to pick those up.
Alright, let's see here. That's an 8. 2, 3,
it's the
4,
third from the
5,
right.
6, 7, 8, 9.
There you go, and then throw those.
Please be more than his hit points!
You can't see anything. You hear a very small form, slump, hit the ground.
Oh! Forgot about the dog! The deck!
But that's it.
Alright.
It's actually it's a small. You hear a small humanoid form, slump over.
Alright. Well, guessing Sai is also probably asleep.
Sai can't be charmed or sleep.
Oh!
By magical
Alright.
effect. Yeah.
Alright, and then I'm gonna use my remaining. I'm gonna move. Try to move back down the hole.
Okay.
Just and then just kind of
try to fumble through the
fumble
darkness.
down,
Okay.
kind of into the hole, a couple feet through the hole if I can, and I'm gonna let it's just my little. I'm just gonna be like, we're having some trouble with a couple guys up here, but please don't pull the dirt down until we're back.
You're just shouting down to
I'm
the
just
kids
shouting
in the
down to these guys. And I'm also going to ask if the Minotaur guy wants to come help with some murder, and we could use it.
Okay. All right. Give me, just for the sake of you trying to find, you could shout that from anywhere. Are you really going to try to,
Well, I
fall
also
forward,
kind of
dig
want to
around
go
till
in the
you find it?
hole. No, I'm also
okay.
going to half run away and try to get the Minotaur guy to come get up here and take my place.
Okay. In that case, give me a maybe survival. Really, I'm not sure even what check. You can make an argument if you feel like any other skill would be more useful for this. But basically, you're trying to kind of like pad around on the floor until you find the hole without falling. Because like if you just step in it and fall through, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Probably just an intelligence check, I guess.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as proficiency, go ahead and make it a survival check. That's generally what
All right.
finding, tracks and things like that are. So, all right, you that would have been at disadvantage really because you couldn't see it either. But you go stumbling through the space until your foot passes through ground that is not there, and you stumble through the hole. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics dex save actually, to see if you can catch
All right.
yourself. Okay, you managed to catch onto the edge and not fall.
Just doing
right into-
backflips through this hole.
If you had fallen through this having not seen, you would have ended up rolling all the way down the 20-foot hill
Right.
to the base of it until you were at the feet of it anyways. But you catch yourself on the edge, still inside the room. You do know where the hole is now, but you basically spent your turn, because you're half moving for, climbing around trying to find the hole,
I'm
trying to find it.
I'm gonna just yell down to him and see if the Minotaur guy wants to come help.
You hear a very angry grunt, and then it sounds like he set the kids down, and that's all you've heard so far. Is that it for your turn?
That's it. You can put me in the tunnel if you want.
It's fine. I'm going to move
All
you, for now, I'll just move you down to the corner here, in case you come back out of the room or whatever. Because if targeting you is difficult if it's on a separate map, so I just move you out of the way for now. Artemis' turn.
Okay, I'm going to cast, first of all, Lesser Restoration on Sarah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast, Healing Word on
Healing word on who?
Nora.
Okay. And healing word's a bonus action. So, Justin, remember how I was telling you the thing about the bonus action and a regular spell? I don't like that rule. You would not have been able to do that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we were playing your game, like that would have been limited, but I don't particularly like the limitations to that. So basically, that's fine with me letting her do that kind of stuff, just because it seems unnecessarily complicated the other way. All right, Norok, your eyes snap open with. I actually, Artemis, healing word is a touch, right? Or is it range?
It's within range. It's a visual within range.
Okay.
I double checked before my turn.
Very smart. All right, so in that case, then, Sarah, you're.
That goddamn halfling fucked me. Now I see
you
it.
put the halfling to sleep.
Now I see it. Stupid Pogo not paying enough attention to the surroundings.
And what's sad about it is he was like on the verge of going unconscious anyway. It's like he's in bad shape. And he was like, go ahead and take a nap, buddy. You look like you could use a nap. All right, hang on. Oh, God damn it. I thought I grabbed the right token. Oh, I did. No, it's not there. All right. But Sarah's eyes, vision clears, and the unconscious effect is dropped from Norok as well. Okay, cool. That one did it automatically. And then Sarah, the blindness is removed. There you go. All right. That's your action. Bonus action. Any movement for Artemis?
I'm gonna move over here and check on.
Okay,
Nature or spell?
Medicine, actually.
Medicine.
Yeah. Her hands are gone, and her face is covered in blood.
Gone?
Yeah. In fact, actually, the table behind you, Arteme, as soon as you were stepping over there, it's not on the map, but there's a table that's over by where the chain is. There's a chain wrapped around her waist and it's going over to that rack over there that Sarah and Pogo just moved under the chain. But
so much for her doing spells.
in fact, actually, that's almost certainly exactly why that was the case, that her hands were taken off. I'll tell it to you this way too. There's an arrangement of the hand. In fact, actually, I have a report here. This isn't. Go ahead.
Are her hands
Well, on that table, aligned in organized rows, are 2 rows of 5 fingernails, and then below that 2 rows of middle knuckles, and 1 for each finger. Below that, another set of knuckles. Below that, the hands that have been severed at the wrist and where the fingers are. And then splayed out on the table are both those hands, of course, that have been surgically cut at each knuckle, and then the wrist. And then beside that, you see 2 human eyeballs that are partially crushed.
Organization is key, guys.
I'm gonna do healing word on her next turn. I'll be.
I only heard the end of that. Fox, you gonna do healing
sorry.
word next turn? What was the beginning?
I'm gonna use healing word on her next turn, but I'm gonna grab her hands and put them near her, so we're gonna bring them with us in case somebody else has a spell to reattach them.
Okay.
just put this bag of parts of a hand. Bad guy, put him on some ice, it'll be fine.
Well, you guys don't know this guy's name. Could you guys just try to ask people's names occasionally, so that I don't have to keep calling people that Miotao guy that looks like this? Let's see. I'll put it in here in case you guys ask him at some point. Otherwise, he will just be Miotao.
All he does is run back. He's not a very talkative guy. He doesn't seem like the kind of person where I gotta be like, how's it going? What do you enjoy on your week?
Oh, I think did I put him in there with his actual name? Oh, you guys can't see him yet anyways. Okay, cool. I can tell. There we go. Now he's visible. All right. So you grab. Yeah, you can as a free action. You can kind of gather up the parts of her that are laying on the table there. She is clearly in very bad shape. So she healing word probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but up to you when your turn comes around. Next, it is the Miotao's turn. Pogo still just to the inside of the hole. You hear him snorting and running up the kind of 20-foot slope, and you feel like just a very large hand push you away, just pushing you into the dirt, to the side of the wall, as he's trying to climb up through the hole. And he clambers his way up out of the hole. Oh yeah, he has no trouble at all pushing his way up out of it, and Norok beside you, you're still laying on the ground, looking up, but you see the Miotao climbing up out of the hole, and immediately just goes a wide swing, trying to bring an axe down on top of the Erdeman that's standing over you, which misses, but that is it for his turn. Desai's turn. Is she going to continue to distract?
No.
All right. Then the Simulacrum's turn. He is going to... actually, he wouldn't be able to tell that Sarah can see now. He is going to step forward slowly, he's not even... There's no haste, at all. It seems like this is just a distraction. Steps forward, and he holds his hand out towards Sarah. You can see now, and there... Okay. He is about to, in fact, actually see that same kind of rotting leaves effect around his hands. That is a 4th level, so if you're going to use the rod for it, that does take your reaction for this turn, which you have not used yet, right? Yeah, okay. So you can absorb the 4th level spell, so go ahead and add that to the charges for the rod. And that is it for his turn. We are back around to your turn.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna tell Arteme to get my Eevee and then we're getting out. I'm assuming darkness isn't gonna matter anymore, so I'm going to use my last sorcery points now that I can see. I'm calling Shan.
Okay. Where's her token? I'll just put her in the combat tracker for you. Here we go.
Which goes on this guy.
Which one? The main guy or the simulacrum?
No, the dude that's coming at me, the simulacrum.
Okay. Shit, she takes out this whole fucking cave. Or this whole tent.
Alright.
So the shadows between the two of you solidify, and you can no longer see him. Shan is just too big. She's blocking him completely from your vision.
Okay, and she rolls her own initiative.
She got a 3. You know what? You can go ahead and roll it. Just roll a d20 for me. Her dex is a +2. Well, she got a 19 then, so that's quite a bit because she only got a 3 before. So she'll be coming up much sooner. So that actually helps a lot.
Alright. And then for my action. I'm going to Chaos Bolt.
Okay. You can't see the simulacrum anymore. Shan is like blocking him completely. You can move and then try, but
How tall
you can.
is the tent?
How tall is what?
The tent.
10, probably 12-ish feet.
Alright, if I move.
You can fly on the broom. You can fly above the scaffolding that Maevi is on.
If I'm over here, can I see the regular guy?
Yes.
If I fly up?
Yep.
Alright, then I'm gonna hit him with chaos.
Okay. That hits.
Oh, those are awful.
I mean, it could be worse. 4 and a 3.
Oh, wait. I need to find that. 3, let's do... Well, I don't want to cause a fire, so let's do sports damage.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a percentile dice for me.
Oh god, which one is that?
You right-click on the D10, which is the third from the left. Right-click on that, and then percentile is the top left one. Looks like a percent sign. Okay, nice. So you send a ball of like it looks like air, like spinning air, basically like a. I don't know how to describe it, I guess how the air would look. Think of it like just a ball of air that smacks him square in the chest, and he goes like it knocks him backwards. The kind of movement around him where it's like it looks like he's constantly displaced from time and moving. It hits him and he solidifies all at once and is thrown backwards into the side of the tent, and then collapses forward down onto one knee. And then you see like a fraction of a second later he starts to move again. That the damage appears to have hurt him more than otherwise would have. That's how I'll say that.
Alright. That would... Yeah, I'm just gonna float above the hole.
Okay.
But like high enough that people can get down through it.
You can hear the kids are crying in the down there. It might be Pogo. Is that it for your turn?
I'm staying, yeah.
All right. He stands back up, and then there's just this anger and vitriol in his eye. He's going to hold his hands out towards you, and it's up to you. You can see that same kind of glowing greenish.
I already used it.
You just had your turn. You have your reaction back.
Oh.
Pogo's down in the hole,
Yeah.
just going, blinded by the light.
Wait, you haven't... Yeah, it's coming back around to you again. You haven't had a chance to... Wait.
Oh, I didn't roll at the end of my last turn.
Yeah, exactly. When you went down into the hole, you didn't... Go ahead and make a con... Pogo. If you beat an 18, you'll have shrugged off the effects. No. Okay. But I'll tell you that he's got both hands held out towards you. One of them is glowing with that kind of greenish with the rotten leaves effect around it, and the other one is you can't tell. There's a black kind of shadowy kind of a look to the other hand. He's about to cast 2 spells at you. One is bonus action. So which are you going to try to? If you're going to, which one are you going to try to block?
Can I just like open it up and see which one hit first?
Yeah, you know what? I'll give you a
Percentile
50-50
dice?
if you want to do that. That's fine. Yeah, go ahead and roll a percentile dice. If it's above, if it's 50 or above, you're gonna block the action. If it's 49 or below, you're gonna block the bonus action. Okay. All right. So that is light. That was the attack. The other effect for his bonus action for his offhand is kind of a what's that?
That's another 4, right?
Oh shit! Actually, well, if you're using the rod to do it, then
Yeah.
does the rod automatically? How does the rod work when it's a higher level spell? I should have had you roll that earlier, actually.
It absorbs the entire spell.
Yeah, but if it's
Up
above a
until-
3rd level, because 3rd level I think is the cutoff
No, that's for
counter
That's-
spell.
that's for counterspell. The rod just absorbs up to 29 levels, and then once it hits 29, it can't absorb anymore.
But it's got to have a limit of what spell, though. If they try to hit you with a 9th level spell, it's not going to automatically work. Store up 20 levels of energy.
Can you 3 levels stored in the rod? Stop. It
It doesn't say.
doesn't say.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna. Oh, hang on. No, it's another level spell. Nope. Okay. Well, for now, I'm just gonna say that you can use that as because there is no description for it, no special, further explanation. I'll look it up later because there's got to be a limit to it. Only because if you were hit with like power word kill or something like that, like a 9th level spell, it wouldn't be able to automatically block that for the level of magic item that is. But for now, we'll go ahead and you've absorbed another 4 levels with it. The other spell effect is an attack spell. You got hit. It's a 7. He got a 17, so it bypasses your AC. A line between the two of you that just passes through the Miotao. It only does 5 damage to you. You do keep your concentration effect, but you can feel vitality dripping out of you, pulling out of you, and going back into him. It's a ranged version of the other one. It's by Vampiric Touch is what the spell was. That is it for his turn. It is Shan's turn. Hang on. You hit him. Did you? Didn't you hit him? Because he's more damaged.
Which guy?
The main guy.
Yeah, I just hit him with Chaos Bolt.
That's right. Okay. He didn't roll a concentration effect, so quick. Oh, he doesn't have it up anymore anyway. Simulacrum that has the slow effect up still. So go ahead with Shan. Not with that. Well,
Wait,
he
is
can't.
that an attack roll? Does Shan count as one of marking?
Yeah. Do you have to be able to see them though? Because you're down in the hole.
Let me take a look.
If not, it would. I mean, she's a temporary ally, but an ally.
Yeah, no, I've got to be able to see them.
Okay.
God,
In that case, then
being
she...
blinded fucking sucks.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to anyways. You're down in the hole. But she attempts to bite at him. You're not seeing this, of course, because you're not really looking in that. Well, I guess you could because you're up. Anyways, then in that case, then you see Shan try to bite towards him, and there's just that kind of spidering of arms and body moving out of the way as she snaps towards him and misses. Is that it for Shan?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, it is Norik's turn. You are still laying down, looking up club at the or swing the axe at the Urdaman and miss, and then Seraphina blasted him with a blast of force that knocked him back.
Okay. Alright, I will stand up. And
You are still slowed. I'll say that because you're still raging, I'm not going to put the 2nd level of exhaustion on you yet, but once your rage falls, you're going to have that on you.
Okay. Perfect. And I am going to, instead of trying to hit him, because I'm still slowed, right? So I only have one action. I am going to, and I'm still raging, so I'm going to attempt to grapple him instead of trying to whack him with my axe to see if I can stop him from doing anything for a minute.
I'll tell you that it's very clear that trying to grapple him is going to be very hard because of
He's made of setup.
Time. Yeah, well, I mean, because he's kind of just flowing around and the kind of matrixy style movement, that grappling him, even getting a hold of him, is going to be hard. You'll be at disadvantage for a grapple attack, basically.
Alright, You know what? I'm gonna give it a try anyway because I would have advantage because of my rage. So just
Oh,
flat
true.
roll.
All right, yeah, that'll make it a flat roll. Okay.
Athletics.
Yeah. He's not very strong, so
I think it gave me disadvantage. Or did it give me advantage? Because I rolled 2 dice.
it gave you advantage. Yeah, it has
Okay.
advantage on there. So it should have been roll it one more time.
Okay.
You got a 12, so you only need to beat a 12 on your flat roll. Yep. All right. I would say that instead of trying to grab like an arm or anything, you can feel like you'll be successful at this. Is that you drop Vulcan at your side? It's just the axe head into the dirt with the handle leaning up against your leg, and you just with both hands reach out in front of you and just smash them together, like the way that you might pick up a kid kind of a thing. Smash them together around where his midsection would be, and you lift him up off the ground. So you're basically holding on to him, and he's still spinning around and making these matrixing style movements all around you. But you are, you lifted him a foot off the ground, just holding him in place.
All right. So I'm just going to turn and face the Meowtow. So I'm facing, north if the map was north, and then just tell everybody to get my AB and get the fuck out of here.
Okay. I guess. Oh yeah, you don't have a bonus action.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So he is grappled, which is speed becomes 0. Can't benefit from any bonus to speed. Condition ends if you are incapacitated. So if he knocks you out, you're screwed, and you only have like 4 hit points left. And his hands aren't restrained either. Got him around the midsection too, but it doesn't do a restraint anyways. It's just speed is 0. Okay. Yep, that's it. Okay, Pogo's turn.
Okay. See, I'm blind and almost out of spell slots.
I'm gonna have, even though it's not damaged because of the attempt where Norok picked him up, I'm gonna still have him make a. He got an 11, which would be with 0 damage. It's only a 10, so he still retains his concentration. Oh wait a minute, never mind. Blind doesn't have concentration anyways. Never mind.
It was the other guy anyways. All right.
Yeah.
God, I'm reading through my spells and everyone's like, a creature you can see within range.
You don't have anything. Yeah, you don't have restoration or anything to be able to clear it. So.
What about you? And I don't think I can use my spiritual banjo either.
You have to be able to. I don't think so. I think that's only for the initial attack.
Okay, then. Trying to think.
How I would rule it basically. The initial attack, you basically tell it what to hit, but from then on, you can just tell it to continue to hit it without you having to see it.
So I'm going to just move the spiritual banjo and have it attack the
one that Norok is holding.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Would that normally, if someone's holding it, will it have a chance to affect them holding it?
I mean, if you rolled like a natural 1, it might hit Norok, but I don't think that would even be enough to distract him.
So just gonna go ahead and try to hit the Pseudoman guy right in the chest with my spiritual banjo.
What do you have disadvantage to grapple?
His speed is 0. Yeah, I'd say that you would have it actually with the attack, because he can't evade it. His speed is like basically if somebody is grappled or restrained, you have advantage on the attack against them. So your banjo will have advantage.
All right.
You remember how to do that?
Yeah. How do I roll with advantage on?
Bottom left corner. Bottom left corner. Click the ADV button so it's lit up.
Got it. And then just roll like normal.
Yeah. Then do the attack with the banjo.
Oh,
no. You had disadvantage because you're blinded, which isn't fair because I don't think that affects that anyways. But it does hit. So.
All right. And then we'll roll that. Oh, that's what I was supposed to roll before. Just kidding.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I wanted. And
okay.
I don't know why I keep clicking that. I don't need to click the effect. All right, and then I'm going to just tell the crying children, don't worry, guys, everything's fine. We're all fine. But I'm actually not facing them. I'm actually looking at the wall.
That's what I'm picturing too. Is you're looking the wrong direction.
Staring at the wall, going, "Don't worry, children. This is the plan. It's a little louder than we thought. Less ants, but otherwise,
You want to sing? You want to sing him a little ditty?
It's all right.
Is this
No, not
one
right
had
now. I don't think
for
he
this
would
one?
be
Okay.
feeling like, yeah, not child appropriate for that one. And so that's my bonus action. And
Okay.
I'm going to use. Oh, that's also a bonus action. Can I use a bonus action as an action?
No.
No? Alright. In that case, I am going to at the hole, I'm going to ready myself to help anyone coming down out of the hole.
Okay.
Assuming they might try to take maybe out of the hole.
Okay. All right. Then, if that's the end of your turn, go ahead and make your con save.
Son of a bitch! 3 blind mice.
It is Artemis' turn.
Okay. I'm gonna use healing.
Okay.
And
That's your bonus
I'm
action?
Gonna, yeah, and then I'm gonna put my healing spirit up as a level.
Okay. You have Pass Without Trace up, so if you're gonna draw Pass Without Trace to put up Healing Spirit. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I will remove the Pass Without Trace effects. Stealth
He's
probably
not
won't help
exactly
you.
being quiet.
Yeah, stealth probably won't matter too. Anyway. There it is. All right. Let me grab your token for you.
Okay,
There you
my
are, Fox.
Eevee's not there. I tried putting it on.
Yeah. I'll take care of the she's you guys. Well, I just haven't put her in the combat tracker basically, but I just was trying to keep from cluttering it up too much when I had the kids and everything there too. But you guys managed to keep the kids out of the way, so they're not their risks. I'll just go ahead and take them off too. Go ahead and roll. You did healing word on her, so go ahead and just without a target cast healing word. All right, 6 hit points, and then the healing spirit. When it's first, it's when they end their turn there, right?
Yeah, or it's when their turn is in it. So I was gonna put it on Nora.
Okay. Right. I don't have a token on here for her, but I will put my Eevee in here for
Oh
you.
wait, never mind. I can't do that.
What's that?
Both bonus actions.
Oh, okay. So,
Never mind. So,
which
yeah,
one
I'm
are you
just
doing
gonna-
then? The healing word?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the first one I did, so I'll just do that one.
All right. Then any actions?
No?
All right. Then when you reach out well, I guess that's at range anyway. So she's still groaning. There's no change in physical response. If you were able to look close, you'd see that the bleeding is abating and slowly stopping. But she's still in very
in
tough
bad
shape.
condition.
Yeah, and healing word isn't enough to fix that, but it is
No, but
maybe
it's
helping.
enough to give her a bit of a relief.
Yeah, she won't die while you guys are sitting right here, basically. The Mio Tao having Noak shouting to grab the. He said, Noak, you just said my Eevee, right?
Yes, I did. That's
Okay.
fine.
Seeing that you have the real hostile threat grabbed onto, is going to spin around and try to, assuming that seeing that Artemis is trying to help her here, is going to try to come over to her, see that she's chained, and then he's going to push his way past underneath Sarah, past the hole, try to push past Artemis. I think presumably you'll, basically, are you going to resist him, kind of moving you out of the way?
No.
Okay. Then he moves you, like just pushes way past you till there, and he's going to swing, seeing the chain there, swing at the wooden frame and try to just cleave through the axle, basically, with both attacks, which both hit. There's a loud cracking of wood as he's cleaving through it. It's not completely separated yet, but he's broken into it. The chain is still attached, but he's trying to hack through the wood, it seems like. What is Sai doing?
Still trying to distract him.
Okay.
One guy.
All right, then the Simulacrum's turn. He is going to move away from Shan, so go ahead. Shan gets opportunity attacks of him. he's just ignoring her completely as she misses anyways. He's not paying any attention to her. He is going to, seeing the halfling floating above this, one escaped, and then the halfling above the hole here is going to, I think it's only fair. Con save 18. Becky. Actually, sorry, Arteme too, because both of you were there. So Arteme and Sarah, con save 18.
Oh,
Wait.
No.
Well, I mean, Arteme avoided it. Sarah, on the other hand, oh shit, and actually it's half damage. So it is. I'm just gonna roll it, and then I'll apply the half save.
Oh,
Oh fuck! It was 40 again, so it'll be 20 damage to Arteme and 40 to Sarah.
He's at 18. I got a 19.
Yeah, it's half damage on a save, so you successfully saved. So, oh shit. Sarah's got 2 hit points left. The slow effect, which you had put up, but it didn't. It succeeded on one of them. Oh, that's right, that's why it was only got 25 anyways, instead of being able to cast both spells. And 20 damage to Arteme, which Arteme is still fully, was fully healed, so that's it. But Sarah is go ahead and make, because it's a huge hit, go ahead and make a dex save on Sarah to just roll above a 5, get above a 5.
I like that you say get above a 5.
Well,
Okay,
I mean-
let me just. I mean, I was planning on getting like a 3, but I regained.
No, I mean,
You
she's
told me
on
I'm
a
supposed to get
broom.
above a 5.
She's on a broom above the hole. Had she fallen, through that and then through the hole in front of Pogo and then down the slope would have been amazing. But all right, you get blasted with a bout of light. Again, that same rotting leaf effect around you, but you are still able to hold on to the broom. It is your turn. What are you doing?
All right. So these Urtomen are not undead, correct?
You don't have any reason to believe that they are. Oh, hang on, shit. I missed something that I meant to do right before your turn. It actually literally would have been right before you. You guys, you hear a scratching sound at the fence, the tent, the flap to the tent. You look to your left, Sarah, and see another kind of halfling shape run through the tent flap, holding a dagger in both hands. You look down and see that the hands of this are covered in black bird feathers, and it shouts, "Don't make me use this!" as it's standing in the tent doorway there, looking at you.
Looking at me?
Yeah.
Fine.
You're the first thing it sees. Like, Norak is standing there holding this guy, but Norak looks like a wall to this guy.
Right. Well, I'm going to ignore that.
Okay.
I'm casting Chill Touch
Okay.
on the main guy that Norak is holding now. Does that give me advantage? 'Cause he's
Yeah,
holding?
he can't move. Yeah.
Awesome.
Wait, because there's Sai and Norok and Benjamin, does that mean that it's like they have
They'd have to be well, it'd be a +1 anyway, but that does hit. Yeah.
All right.
It's not advantage. It'd be a +2 if it was
Well,
right.
then he cannot regain hit points until the end of my next turn.
All right. He actually has that too, but he hasn't used it on you guys. All right. So that is
And
applied to
he
him.
takes
Okay.
damage.
He is injured, barely bloodied, basically at this point. So I'll tell you that. But he's beaten up decently. You guys haven't hit the simulacrum at all, but this one is injured now. That if your turn.
I'm going to float 10 feet down the hole.
Okay. Pogo, you feel the brush of air and smell Sarah's perfume or whatever as she flies by you.
That's it.
Okay. The Urdaman, who is being held by Norak, is, and he has his touch attack, is just going to put both hands up onto Norak's hands and with both of them roll this attack. He can't heal from it, but he can still hit Norak with it, which misses. So the first one, he touches with both hands, but you feel it trying to seep through your skin, and it just isn't able to with his right hand. Then with his left hand, that one hits. It's a 4d4, which is going to knock you back out again. Yeah. Norak, who was standing there holding him, feels this vitality leach through his skin again and collapses back to the ground. Or the Erdeman rather, lands back on his feet, just standing above with Norak laying in the ground below. That's it for his turn. Yeah, that's it for his turn. He's not going to move. Chan's turn.
Alright.
And it hits.
Now, should I do the strength saving throw before the damage?
Go ahead and do the damage first, because then he's not very healthy. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like the simulacrum doesn't have a lot of well, not for that amount of roll, but he definitely failed, and he failed his concentration as well.
Oh, I can see! No, that's something different.
No, that's the slow effect on Norak. So if Norak can get back up again, then he was no longer.
Okay. That's it for her.
Okay. Hang on, that was his concentration effect, not the. If she's trying to pull him down, assume.
Yeah.
He failed that as well. He got a 6. So she comes around the corner and just latches into, like, it basically just turns her head sideways and bites around his hips and just yanks him to the ground and starts trying to just tear him apart on the ground. He is immediately bloodied, like he's doesn't have a lot of health from that, so he's in bad shape. Is that it for Shane's turn?
Yeah, that's all she can do.
Okay. Then it is Norak's turn. Another death save, G.
Okay, I'll be right there.
All right.
Okay, let's see if I can move. Alright, now, is there supposed to be any difference if I fall twice in the same fight? Is it like 2 auto death saves failed or whatever kind of thing? Is there a
No.
rule like that?
No, you start, yeah, you're completely cleared again and back to
That happened,
okay.
I would have been dead a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I didn't
Poor
hear
fuck.
about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Fail.
Yep, that's a fail. You got a 6, so even without the modifiers. Okay, Pogo's turn. You heard right up, right above you, basically. You sound what you're pretty sure was the sound of Norak hitting the ground again.
Alright. Well, I'm going to... So let's see. I'm right at the edge of the hole. I'm going to...
Yeah, Sarah flew past you.
I don't know. Oh, there's so not much I can do. Alright, hold on. Let me
Blind
just...
just really screwed you guys.
If I can go up and touch Norak, since I think I heard him fall down again,
Yeah.
can I use Healing Word even though I can't see him? I
I
can touch him? Or do I actually have to
hear you, right? Let's see.
No, I have to see him.
You do?
It says a
Um,
creature you can,
that you
or
can
creature
see
of your
within
choice that
range,
you
yeah.
can see. So it would, even if I'm touching him and know he's there, I still have to see
I
him.
would rule that if you could touch him, the thing is, with you fumbling blind,
Whether or not I could get back in that area.
like being able to tell which
'Cause it
direction
is
he is and then get to
Out
him.
of the hole, it's still 20 feet away out of the hole.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd say that you'd probably be at half movement trying to fumble through the dark anyways, not being able to see.
Okay. Okay.
You do have your inspiration though, so if you, I'm telling you, I'm trying to help you here.
I know,
If you-
I know.
If you want to get rid of this effect,
So I'm going to. That's a bonus action. So I'm trying to think if I have a normal.
yeah, which
action
means no
beforehand.
banjo. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's so bardic inspiration can't be cast on myself.
Oh, never mind. Yep. You get that later. You get that at some point for bards.
Yeah. but okay. So that halfling in that area is already asleep. Oh boy. All right.
The HP's, well, it's current HP. It's not max. It might be possible.
To put him to sleep.
Maybe. I mean, if you rolled well enough. He's injured now. Like he wasn't before. There's no way you could have done it.
So I'm
But
gonna
he
cast.
is injured enough now that I'll tell you that if you can get, I think it's like 35-ish or so.
So last thing I knew, he was closer to the right of where my banjo was.
Yeah.
5, 10, 15. Yeah, but everyone's gonna get fucking hit by it. That's gonna not work.
For sleep?
Yeah, for sleep.
I think you
Is
pick
it-
targets, don't you?
Nope.
No, you don't. It's just the area. Yeah.
There's the area, and it's a
Well, Norok's
30 foot-
unconscious. Norok's
Yeah.
unconscious already, so I can't.
Yeah, the halfling's unconscious still.
Yeah, and there's you don't know about this. Well, you did hear a bird-like voice say,
Yeah.
"Don't make me use this." But
So
that's about
based
it.
off what I know, I'd like to try to cast it more to the left, thinking that he's still over here, but trying to
Okay.
avoid everyone. So I'm gonna cast it.
What level?
This is
You only
gotta
have first level spells left.
Oh my god! I'm so fucking worthless!
Uh,
Let's see here. Let's see here.
Wait a minute. Hang on.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should allow you to do this. Shit.
Are you talking about using my actual inspiration as an action?
No. There's. Okay. Okay. It wouldn't work this way anyway. It was initially. What if you grab the gem and look at the gem, take it out?
No, but I can't see out of my eye.
You got to be able to peer through the gem. Is how it
Exactly.
works. Yeah. So blindness would be negating that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys, don't worry. I'll find something I can do. What's the situation with Maybe? Like, is Maybe still on the thing, and the dude's hitting
The
her? or
Meow is trying to. Well, I mean, you might be able to take the chain off or anything. You don't know. He just looked at it, saw that she was in the game, and started
Yeah.
trying to break the thing so that he can get the chain off.
All right. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna cast Sleep. About 5, 10. I'm gonna cast Sleep right next to the Hobbit that I put to sleep
Okay.
earlier in that general area, thinking
Okay.
that it's gonna barely clip the main guy.
What is the normal amount of dice? 5d8?
It's 5d8 at a level 1.
Well, if you roll high enough, you might be successful.
Let's see what we get here. Oh, that's ditch that.
Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm doing a work thing real quick. Go ahead and roll it and everything. It'll here.
Okay, alright. Those weren't D8s.
Were they?
No, they weren't.
Sure? What were they?
They were
I
Oh
think
wait,
they
no,
were
those were
D8s.
D8s. Those were
Yeah.
D8s. Just kidding.
Just
Just
rolled really
rolled
shitty.
terribly.
Yeah.
And that's my first level slot.
Yeah, I'll tell you that
and
was
then
not enough.
I'll use my bonus action to go ahead and have the banjo attack him
Okay.
one more time.
You guys might eventually chip out his health enough. It'll take you another half hour to do it, right? 45 minutes, maybe? That misses.
Well, that was with blindness.
Oh, hang on. Yeah. Never mind. So the other one would have been a 19, so that would have hit.
Alright.
So go ahead and roll it in. Yeah, that's a pretty good hit. Max damage.
And
But if your turn.
that's it. I'm just gonna hang out a few down that hole, hoping someone as they pass me and we're leaving lets me know. Oh wait, I gotta roll con.
Yeah, go ahead and roll the con save versus the.
Okay, please. Damn it!
You actually rolled really well too. don't live enough. Your constitution modifier is too low.
I am not a very strong human on this.
Not very hardy. Alright, it is Artemis' turn.
Okay.
You've seen Norak fall down again. The Erdeman stands back up, and you see his hands like he's cleaning his robes.
Healing word or Norak.
Okay. In that case, Norak, you snap back awake again. With, laying down at the feet of the Erdeman in front of you. Any bonus actions? Or any actions, rather?
That was the
Erdeman.
bonus action. Let me
Yeah.
check. I'm gonna use heat metal
Okay.
on the metal that I'm gonna let the Neotown know first. That I'm gonna use heat metal to try and hold on.
Okay. To weaken, like where? In the chain in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, then he looks and sees you doing that. Heat metal, I think it works, right? As far as... I think so.
Not sure how it works.
A manufactured metal object, such as a metal weapon or a suit of heavy metal object to glow red hot. Any creature in physical contact with the object, which nobody is touching that part of it, so you're fine there. Until the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on each of your subsequent turns to cause that damage again, which the object takes 2d8. So go ahead and roll 2d8.
Which one's the D8?
Third from the right. Assuming you're casting at level 2. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
3. I
I
have no
think
more
it's
level
another D8.
spells left.
Okay, in that case, it is another 1d8, so roll one more d8. Oh, okay. It's just a chain. It doesn't have that much health, so it had 50. But you begin heating it to the point that it's weakening the chain in the middle. The Miotao sees that it's weakening. He just reaches a hand over and just yanks it, and the chain snaps. So there's still a length of a few feet that is tied around Maibi's waist, but the chain itself is no longer connected anymore.
Awesome.
Is that it for your turn?
Yep.
Okay. Maibi can't do anything, of course. She's still just laying there. The Miotao, seeing that she's free, is going to just reach over and just grabs her around her midsection and throws her up over his left shoulder while he's still holding, grabs his axe back, the one that he was using to try to chop at the thing with his right, and is going to try to push past you again. Are you resisting or letting him pass you?
Not resisting at all.
Okay, then he moves you back over here and is going to make just a wide swing. He only gets one action for one attack since he picked her up. So I'll let him try to swing at the simulacrum here, which hits. Which is enough that he cleaves through the kind of glowing jelly. And you see, actually, in fact, Arteme, well, Norak's back awake. You guys hear the sound of glass shattering as the simulacrum just explodes.
Okay.
And it's gone. The Miotao, with what little movement he has left, is going to move to the edge of it, and he's preparing to still holding Maibi over his left shoulder, is going to try to climb down through the hole. It is Sai's turn.
She's just distracting.
Okay.
And we're ready to go.
What does
Right.
distraction do?
The first attack against him, first melee attack, that after she's distracting them, the first melee attack has advantage.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is Sarah's turn.
Sham disappeared then.
Okay.
Your target is gone.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pop back up out of the hole.
Okay. You see the Kenku stay like still moving in your direction. Not clear that he doesn't know what he's doing. I'll tell you that you recognize the Kenku. It's the same one you guys met this.
Okay. I am just going. Well, if they were super nice, I'm going to say, if you want to get out of here, just get in the hole. And I'm going to... Lucas down. I'm going to use Chill Touch on this guy again.
Lucas?
No, I said Rufus.
Oh, Rufus. Okay. I knew you were talking to the dog, but I thought you called him Lucas.
No, Rufus.
Alright. You doing what?
Chill Touch.
Misses.
Damn it. Alright, well then I'm going back down the hole. Because I've only got 2 hit points, so...
Okay. I think I must have skipped the Kenku because he hasn't moved yet. Or she, actually. I had to have skipped her, so I'll tell you that when you came up, you saw her going over to the halflings and trying to undo the halfling over here, trying to undo the bindings that are securing this guy to the post there, and was threatening you basically when you came by with her knives. Okay, it is the Erdeman's turn.
Oh crap!
Yeah, Norok is barely up again. Could get. You know what though? Seeing the Miotao trying to leave with Maibi, I'm going to take her token off. Is going to, I think, probably would make more sense for him to try to blight. Whoops, that was the wrong one. Blight the Miotao. Let's see if he makes a save. He did. He got an 18, so half damage.
I still can't even use cutting. I can't use anything. I gotta
You gotta be able to
see everything to do anything. It's terrible.
It's funny because I thought most of before you would roll it, I thought most bard abilities were like hearing. You know, if they could hear your,
Well, all the
like that.
Yeah, it's just every single thing has the creature you can see within 60 feet.
Yeah. A wave of rotting leaves settle in Miotao, and they're burning away at his skin, leaving some nasty scars. And then he is going to. He's going to vampiric touch him too, actually, trying to prevent the Miotao from leaving with Maibi, which also hits. Shit, he's pretty injured. He's past bloodied, so I mean he did. Oh wait, hang on, because it was half damage on that. Hang on, let me fix that. He's almost bloodied. The Miotao. Kenku's turn. Is trying to undo the bindings on this halfling. Has gotten him freed, but the halfling is still not moving. He's unconscious. Is going to spend his 30, and is coming to the other two, trying to free them. Norok's turn. You are conscious still. He didn't hit you this time, so you are conscious. You'll have to, if you're going to stand up, will be half your movement.
Yeah, I hop up.
Okay.
See if I can cut this dude in.
You're not slowed anymore, and
Nope.
Bane is gone, so you pretty much only have the 1d4 against it, but that misses.
Oh!
Alright.
And he is bloodied. He's not like close to dying, but he is bloodied if you can hit him hard enough. That also misses. Poor Dorok. Ben hasn't had, like last session he didn't get to do much because there wasn't that basically the one small fight with the eyeball, that was it. So Ben hasn't had a good session this month since it was 3 weeks between. Pogo's turn.
All right. Let's see. I'm in the hole. I'm guessing I saw the guy get the Miotao get
see
hurt.
anything.
No, that's right. I didn't see anything.
You heard it. You can hear the Miotao grunting
Wait.
above.
With
What?
the semi-life dead, does the blindness drop?
No, it's an effect. It's
on
not
me.
concentration. Yeah, it's an effect that's on you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna attack him with my spiritual banjo.
Okay. That hits.
And
Both would have hit. This is 17 for both. Hey, another max damage banjo hit. Banjo is it's clutch. Banjo's winning the battle for you.
I truly think the banjo has done more damage than anything else. All
Norok
right.
would have wrecked this guy if he could hit him. That's why
If he could hit
slow
him.
and Bane were so necessary.
Okay. So
He doesn't have a ton of hit points. He just has very powerful control effects, and then he has some chrono spells, some time effects.
I wish I could get up there and just even be in his general vicinity.
You're still technically invisible too.
I know, but I'm pretty sure he can see me.
Yeah, and actually, for that reason, never mind. The Kenku did not see Sarah, so he didn't look at you through her. She didn't look.
Oh,
at you
wait.
through her.
No, I don't think, because invisibility should be gone, because I think I lost it. Oh no, I haven't been attacked yet, so
Yeah, you haven't been hit.
that's right.
But I cast a spell, so shouldn't it drop?
Oh yeah, it
Oh
drops
yeah,
when I
it's not
attack
greater
you.
invisibility.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so nope, we've been visible since the beginning.
Your banjo. Yeah, I guess the initial attack would have. Yeah, so we'll drop that off. I think repeated attacks. If you put Banjo up and then invisible, it's be invisible because the Banjo is the one that's doing the attack. Technically, it's not really a creature, so it probably shouldn't work that way. But that's how I would rule it.
I can't do that. All right, I'm gonna use. All right, if I get a level, do I have a level 3 spell? Okay. All right. Okay. 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 I'm gonna use my actual inspiration.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do that.
Who are you inspiring?
No, I'm not using bardic inspiration. I'm using the inspiration I got for singing a song at the bar the other night, mess hall. Let me just make sure this is what I think it is. Okay, I'm gonna use recover to gain a 3rd level spell slot. So I'm gonna use my inspiration, and I'm gonna regain a 3rd level spell slot as my action. And I am going to climb back.
That does not take your action to do that.
Oh, it doesn't?
Nope.
Okay.
You can just do that.
So in that case, I am going to one more time cast sleep in that general area.
He's pretty. He's rough enough shape now. If you roll even bad, you might be okay.
Just hit him, and hopefully no one else.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and roll. What is that then? I'm sleep at a level 3 is 2, so 4 plus 5. That's 9d8s. 2, 4, 6. 9.
That's way more than enough. Like your previous one was almost enough. Your shitty roll earlier would like just you filling the area around. Well, I guess you're doing it far enough to try to avoid hitting the rock, right?
Aye.
Presumably. Okay. The halfling is already asleep. The other halfling, which is enough that the Erdeman sees you popping your head out through the hole. And it starts to, like, his eyes begin to blink slowly, and they're doing that same matrixy effect where they're both closed and open at the same time. And then he kind of leans forward, like reaching a hand out towards Norok, almost like he's trying to attack, but he's just trying to prevent from falling flat on his face. And then stumbles forward and falls into the dirt. He is asleep.
Is he asleep, guys? I can't. I'm Ray Charleston over here. I can't tell. But I'm trying to put him to sleep. I tried 3 times. Are we still fighting people? No one's telling me what's happening.
He is asleep. Is that it for your turn?
Yeah.
Alright. What is Artemis doing?
If he's asleep, can I just go slit his throat?
So here's how it works. When somebody is asleep, it's you're making a melee attack if they're unconscious.
Sorry, you hit out there, halfway through?
It's an automatic critical.
Oh, okay, so can I just go slit his throat?
Sure. Now it will wake him up if you don't kill him.
So maybe have Norok.
Well, I mean, it's up to you guys. You can all do it at the same time. Doesn't matter to me. You're basically like temporarily out of initiative order.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna ask Norok to help me, like, just like kill him. So like stab him in the heart while I slit his throat.
Okay. You guys have like I think it's 1 minute that sleep lasts, right?
Yeah, it lasts. It lasts
1 minute.
because he doesn't
Duration's
get
1 minute.
Norok,
yeah.
do your roll when you said I'm ready. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, it's automatic. Well, it's advantage because he's unconscious too. So, Norok, you can make your roll. Okay. Artemis, you missed.
What? Okay.
Even with advantage, you got a 14 somehow. It's an automatic.
Advantage or auto crit? Oh, it hits an auto crit. If it
Yeah,
hits.
it's an auto crit. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
So, but
Like I literally sat up and I was, what?
Damn it.
What's gonna happen? So they're auto crits.
Yeah, it's auto crit. So just roll the damage, and it's just automatic doubles basically for the damage. As long as it's enough to kill him, he won't wake up. Hang on. That was not enough.
Shit.
Oh, hang on. No, I didn't double that. Never mind. With the double, it's enough. He had 8 hit points left. With the double, that's enough that he killed.
Okay. Yay.
Yeah, you sounded so excited about that.
Could someone tell me what's going on, please? Wow, that was a weird accent. I don't know what that was.
Okay,
That was
now I'm
close.
gonna tell everybody to get the hell out of here. I'm gonna use plant growth, near the tent entrance, and then we're just gonna like leave.
You're blocking the tent entrance with plants?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the growth.
The Kenku who is freeing the halfling looks at you and you specifically looks at like it's quite clear that she's looking at Arteme, and she says, "Yeah, we know what to eat."
What? What to eat?
Yeah.
Huh?
I would say that you probably wouldn't remember exactly why, but it's a very familiar tone that how she says that. It's specifically, you recognize her. It is the one that you met in the swamp, and that is something you said to her before, and she's mimicking it back to you.
Oh, okay.
It's clear that she recognizes you, and that's what she says. And she's trying to pull the halflings off there. Like the two that are still wounded and awake, she's trying to pull them off these frames.
Okay, can I help her with that before I put her?
Yeah. Oh,
Can anyone make me see again?
Okay.
Is that...
you're
Hang
still
on,
down in the hole.
I'm gonna use recovery to get its level 2 spell slot back, so I can use heat metal on that. On
The other ones are not chained by metal. The other two are just tied to it with rope.
Oh, okay, then I won't need to do that. I'll just okay, I'll still get the slot back, but once I get in the tunnel, I'll use lesser restoration on Pogo.
Okay.
And
Give me a perception check on Arteme and Norok.
If we're in a combat, then I'm gonna float back up
Okay.
and ask the kid.
After when Pogo poked his head through the hole, and then he asked, "Is he asleep?" You did hear, a thump, and then you heard like Norok's axe cleave. So you could probably intuit that the guy's probably dead.
Alright. Am I still blind? Someone use...
Sarah, well, one sec, because actually Arteme was gonna come take care of that, but one thing I wanted to point out first. From that perception check from Arteme and Norok both, when he falls forward into the mud, he's laying with the right side of his face in the mud, and the face is looking towards Arteme, with his left eye is up. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? His right eye would be towards the dirt, left eye, which is the gem, is up towards the top.
I'm gonna grab the gem.
Well, as soon as he lays it, or as soon as he falls in the dirt, the gem begins to crumble, and it kind of falls into dust, and there's a wispy smoke almost that kind of lifts up from from where the gem was, and is going up, like it's moving slowly, but it's moving up towards the center of the tent.
Okay, I'll try and... How do you disperse smoke?
Not
Feel
my
like-
problem.
Just someone get a glass jar, quick!
Yeah.
It's moving fast. Well, it's not moving fast, but it's moving faster than this. So if you guys don't have, if you're
I
not
can use
doing
ice
anything,
knife on it.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll without a target with ice knife. Oh shit! That's like 4 natural 20s for Fox today. The ice knife passes through it, but because it is essentially the target, ice knives explode when they hit the target, and then shrapnel comes out from them. It would be near where the fire is, so I would say that you probably don't accidentally hit anybody. Not enough to, knock Norok out and send him unconscious again, at least. The smoke may have dispersed. You can't really tell. It's like, especially with the shadows in here, and then there's smoke from the fire. Because the fire itself is causing a change. So you may have dispersed it. You may not. You can't really tell. It doesn't appear to be there anymore, but it could have just been mixed in with the smoke from the fire.
So, can Pogo see now?
So that was happened as soon as he died. So now that's done, Arteme was recovering a spell slot to go down to try to cure your blindness. What was Sarah doing?
I'm gonna go try to help the Kenku with the halflings, and Kenku was a she, right?
Yeah, it's a she. I keep saying he, but it's a girl.
Yeah, and ask her if she wants to go with us.
Oh, that's
Get out of
the little bird thing?
Yeah.
You were bird.
Oh, I thought it was one of the scouts.
No, it's so
Got it.
the bird. Okay, the bird thing is called a kenku.
Yeah.
And the halfling that you guys met in the swamp, you met the halfling and her.
Sure.
As she is pulling the halflings off of the scaffolding there, you guys can, now that you can see again, you recognize that one of the halflings that she pulled off is the halfling that you met in the swamp. Her name was Bole, B-O-L-E. And then the Kenku is named okay.
His name's yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's her name. That's what Bull called her, at least. That's what you assume is her name. But the Kenku is trying to lift the Bull, the female, trying to carry her, but is like smaller than her and is struggling with it. They're both very wounded, and then the other halfling, the one that she is untied from it, but he's asleep. She thought he was dead because he wasn't moving and wasn't responding. It's just because Pogo put him to sleep. But she's trying to grab them and come towards Sarah. Sarah offering help clearly, and having recognized Arteme with the we know what to eat, is what Arteme told her before. So anyway, she's trying to pull him as best she can. She's just not strong enough.
Alright.
Start helping.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just leave one of them across the room. I could take one.
Okay. The Miotao has climbed back down, holding my Eevee. You still don't know his name, of course, because you guys are very rude. But he has climbed back down through the hole and is, back to the kids with my Eevee. What's that?
His name is T-Bone from now on.
T-Bone!
Is he gonna eat Snickers with a knife and fork too?
Yep, that's right.
All right, but anyways, yeah. So they are down there between Norak. You can easily carry two of them, maybe even a third over the shoulder. Sarah, you grab a bowl from the Kenku over the broom and make your way back into the tunnel. There is sound coming from inside the camp. Arteme knew this before because in this mist, you guys haven't seen the mist because you guys came up inside this tent. But there's a very thick that dome of fog that was surrounding it. Remember?
Hi.
You guys, that dome, the inside of it echoes very loudly. Any sounds at all echo through the whole area, which Arteme knew, of course, but you guys hadn't seen it because you guys were inside this tent, which is like, especially with the fire, is like blocking most of that out. But there's echoing of activity of people coming this direction. Arteme has blocked off the entrance with thick vines and what's the word I'm looking for? Like spiny vines? What sort of thorn bushes? Couldn't think of the word. I can remember simulacrum, but not thorn, apparently.
Apparently.
Anyways, has blocked it off, but you guys scramble as best you can, trying to hurry into the entrance to make your way back down into the tunnel, back towards camp. We're at 8:40. Do you guys want to call it? Well,
Can- The
yeah.
only thing I'd like to do is pull the dead body of the Sirdaman down in the thing with us. I want to go through his pockets and see if he's got any fun shit on him.
I mean, you could do that without moving him, but he's not
Okay.
big,
In that
but he's
case,
a
I'm
lot
just-
bigger than you. He's
I'm
like
just gonna
double your weight.
try to go through his pockets because
Okay.
I'm very curious what this guy might keep on him.
Give me a investigation check, Pogo.
Dude, oh wait. 7 around. Nah.
Well, I mean, really, he's not moving, so it's, you managed to, basically, he didn't hide a regular pocket. You find a stone that has a sigil on the surface that you don't recognize, but it's clear that this thing has some significant value and probably is.
I'm gonna
an arcane.
slide that in my pocket without anyone seeing.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand. Okay, you're pretty confident that nobody saw you take that.
All right.
There
then
may have been other things, but that's the only thing you found that looked like it was valuable.
sounds good to me.
All right, guys, then we will call it there. Successful, if plan went to shit, but still successful retrieval mission. Let's see, what does next week look like? The 21st. Everybody good for the 21st?
Yes, but
Yeah.
the Saturday. Hold on. Hey, Leah. What day is the